Хөрхөн охид trap сонсон. Trap сонсон, trap донсон. Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан. Дагаж дуулан дур булаа мууруулаа.
Everybody, welcome to our brand new MMA Roasted podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. We got a great show today. We got hilarious superstar comedian Shang in the house.
That's nice of you. I don't know about that, but
guy
yes,
who's been on Heroes, Jamie Foxx show,
yeah,
Showtime,
yeah,
HBO,
yeah,
Netflix,
yeah,
yeah. And you have your own podcast. What's it called?
Oh no, I don't have it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore.
What happened with Monkey with the Brain?
Yeah, no, I stopped doing it about a year ago.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
all right.
I stopped doing it about a year ago. I was just focused on trying to get that special done, man. Trying to get that done, and
we'll talk about that in a second. Also, my man Andrew Montañez is here.
I am here.
Andrew is Andrew's killing it, man. He's now working at for Glory Kickboxing, doing all their undercard fights.
That's crazy.
He's a renaissance man.
I don't sleep.
He does not sleep.
Trying to get this MMA thing a little more popular, a little more better.
What you doing?
a little bit more popular.
We got
to the right people.
Yeah.
To the right people.
We got Ian Harris coming in, who's a trainer as well as a comedian. Also released a special on Amazon. We have DeAnna Bennett, former Invicta fighter. I think UFC and the Ultimate Fighter House. Going to be a good show. I want to thank our sponsor, Speedweed. When you find yourself in need, trust in speedweed.com. They got overnight delivery to over 1,088 cities across California. Find everything with one quick stop. Flour, edibles, concentrate, topicals, vapes, and more.
Right.
Sign up and use the code ROASTED for $10 off. Orders over $100 at speedweed.com.
Okay.
Do you still smoke weed or no?
No.
Really? When did you stop?
After my surgery.
Oh, yeah. You almost died.
No, I didn't almost die.
Didn't you almost die?
No, I didn't almost die.
What did you have surgery on?
No, I tore my groin muscle and I had a chipped pelvic bone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty.
So then you stopped smoking pot?
Well, no, I just said I'm not. You know,
Yeah.
And after that, I ballooned up to like 316 pounds, and I'm down to 289 now.
Nice.
So I'm working on that, but yeah, it was pretty painful. I didn't realize how I've been a bunch of pain and I've had a bunch of injuries, but that is the worst. Your groin is the worst. Dude.
Your groin?
The groin muscle. Ugh.
Could you still bang on it or no?
Yeah, now. But at first, no. Not for like 4 months. I couldn't.
Wow.
And I know Lazier was frustrated. My lady.
Your wife was like,
yeah, she was like, "Oh God, when?" I said, "Hey, I can't hardly sleep.
Damn.
I had to sleep with a." Yeah, but after the surgery though, it was.
Did you guys use toys and stuff? So like,
I just basically I hired a dude.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's good. That's
because
cool.
I love her.
Right.
So
well,
I figured like
it's very nice of you.
yeah, I hired a guy.
Yes.
But after that, and it was weird. I tore my groin muscle working out, and then. They found the chip, was wondering why my hip was hurting, and they found there was a chipped piece of bone floating in there.
Fuck.
I was like, what?
Damn.
So, yeah, so...
was it like a chicken wing, or was it?
It was I think it was a leg.
A leg. Okay,
Yeah,
that's good. That's good. Now, so what's going on with me? So, first of all, I gotta talk about... So, I put this thing on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I actually... enough was enough. So my father, who's been the greatest dad to me, been there my whole life. He back in the 60s and 70s, he managed Alice Cooper. Him and this guy Shep Gordon, they were roommates in college.
Wow.
They moved out to LA, and they were selling weed and doing all kinds of stuff back in the day. And they actually met this woman named Cindy, who said her brother Neil Smith was in a band called Alice Cooper. They need a manager. My dad's like, oh, I'll manage them. Yeah, they had no experience.
Definitely
right?
your dad. It was like...
So, like long story short, they took Alice from not being able to fill a free concert, walking a free concert in Venice, to no one would sign him, to getting signed by Frank Zappa, to touring the world, to becoming this huge megastar. So my dad managed them from like 68 to, I don't know, 76, 75, 76, back when they had their biggest album, School's Out,
Right.
Mr. Nice Guy, $1 Billion Babies, and 18, and
That's crazy. I know all of those.
Elected, all the big hits. They had one hit since then, since my dad left in 76, which was a Poison, right? So, my dad, it was a huge breakup, but it was amicable. It was an amicable breakup. My dad left, sold his share of the management term with Shep, and went on, and So anyway, since then, Chef's Cooper's still been touring. My dad has stories about how Billy Graham was like, I'm never gonna, Alice Cooper will never be on our this, and he has story after story how they lost a snake in a hotel one time. They were in the Hollywood Landmark. They lost their snake that was in the bathtub, and then
How do you lose a snake?
they were going to call it in and be like, hey, our snake is missing, right?
Oh yeah, that's the last call you want to make.
And then they said 3 months later, Charlie Pride was taking a dump, and the snake came up, and it was on the Associated Press.
Wow.
So he has a story after story like that. So, all right. So now, Shep, the behind the music of Alice Cooper came out 10 years ago.
Right.
My dad wasn't mentioned anywhere. It was all Shep Gordon. Shep was the manager. Then Shep had this movie called Supermensch, right?
Yeah.
Which Mike Myers produced, this documentary about how he helped, how he's this mensch, this great guy who helps all the people. Did not mention my dad, right?
Right.
Nowhere. And then in the book he did, but not the movie, right? Which is that was his thing. So then it was now there's this new movie coming out in England about Salvador Dali and Alice Cooper and their relationship. And my dad was the one who actually made that thing happen. He actually set up the meeting with Salvador Dali and Alice Cooper, and Dali did this Alice Cooper hologram. And they're doing a movie about it, and Shep has a part, someone playing Shep, someone playing Alice. My dad's not mentioned anywhere. So finally I was like, enough is enough. Because it's my father, and also because you can't rewrite history. You can't all of a sudden leave people out. He was there. He was your partner. We have 12 gold records in the house. They have plaques saying "Eat Your Heart Out" the award between Shep and my dad.
Wow.
So I wrote an open letter. I said open letter explaining everything that happened. Put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram, put it on Twitter. And I haven't got any. A lot of people have been responding to it, saying how that's bullshit and people that were there, and some of Glenn Buxton, his sister, who he was in the band, Cindy Dunaway, whose husband is the guitarist. I mean, they're all confirming everything that's true. Right. And so we'll see where that goes.
I mean, let me ask you this: what is his reasoning to try to go around history? What is his reasoning? Shep's just I'm just gonna erase all of this.
Basically, and now they changed the story to Jimi Hendrix was the one who introduced Shep to Alice, and all this shit that
didn't happen.
Did not happen. Did not happen.
Can he sue him for that? Because that's actually, isn't that?
He talked to him. I mean,
that sounds like you could sue somebody for that because it's no, you didn't do this shit by yourself. I would look into suing.
I don't know. It's more hurtful and legacy and just
it's hurtful, but after hurt you go revenge. I personally think if somebody did that shit to me, and I've had shit like that happen to me, I would. And I did. I'd go after him because, dude, you're not going to erase the fucking work I did. You're just not. And he did do the work. If he did the introductions and he did all the things, it's no, you're going to give me.
No, even now.
Or you're going to give me a piece because you're not.
And even now, people are like, oh, what did your dad do? Oh, my dad, my manager, he used to manage Alice Cooper. Oh, your dad's Shep Gordon? No, my dad's Joe Greenberg. Oh, I saw a documentary. They didn't mention your dad. They put a business card at the end of the credits saying, thank you to Joe Greenberg, this wouldn't happen. Which is almost after the credits roll, yeah, so anyway, that's something I'm dealing with, which is annoying.
It's not, it's not to me. I think it's cool that you did that. I mean, some people be like, whatever, let it go. I wouldn't.
Fuck that.
No, I think that's bullshit. And that's the kind of person that if I would ever see any of his people, I'd want to hit them in their head.
Well, I'm just you're
not supposed to do that. But
it's just my dad, and my dad's super proud of that part, and he's super. And every time I had to watch him go watch the Behind the Music special and get depressed. Even the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he went. And they thanked him at there. Thank you, Joe. Then when it aired on TV, that was all gone. They edited that out. And now it's a Supermensch. So I gotta be with my father, and my dad's not gonna say anything. He didn't tell me to write this letter. He told me, my dad's the kind of guy who doesn't like, you don't want to burn bridges. I'm like, no, fuck that. Enough is enough.
Yeah, but I mean, the first time I would be like, okay, maybe you just slipped. But by the fourth thing,
yeah,
the fourth one, I would be like, Dad, I think we should go at these people.
I'm just fuck it.
And the thing is, if with all the introductions, you wouldn't be possible without my help. So for you to act like you just did it by yourself, now I got to go at you. And if I see you, I'm pushing you down some steps. No, but you're not supposed to put people. Don't do that to people.
Andrew, what would you do?
That's a tough situation. Yeah,
no?
I would try to probably get the truth out. I think in honor of your dad and stuff, it's just probably the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I read the post last night before bed, and I'm like, I saw like open letter, and it was like 4 swipes on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I was like, interesting. I'm like, that's a.
Fuck
I
that.
didn't even know that about you.
Yeah, I just hate seeing my dad just like shit on. You know.
What's his take on it? Does he care?
Yeah, of course he cares. He's like
That would hurt my feelings to
He's
the
like
core.
he's getting
Right, like-
he's getting written out of history.
He's getting written out of history because Alice Cooper's a pretty big freaking name.
He was the guy who started.
icon.
He started shock rock. I mean, it was my dad was the one who like when they had chickens on the stage and they were throwing it to the crowd. Frank Zappa called my dad and said, "Why are you guys killing chickens?"
Who's making the story? Who's making the movie or the?
These guys in England are making the movie about it, and that's the thing with Dolly.
Have you reached out to them though?
My dad
That's
owns
what I would probably
My dad
do.
owns the Dolly hologram that he made for Alice Cooper. He's one of the owners of it. It's just all this stuff where it's like.
Because I would probably just reach out to those guys more or less and
It just keeps happening. It's not like one thing.
No,
It's-
if
it's
it was
just-
one thing, it's different. But like he's saying, if it's 4 or 5 things, no, it's time to be like, fuck that. At least,
Yeah.
Like, if anybody did that to my dad, or even a person I knew that I loved, they got to get it.
and all I'm doing is telling the truth. It's
not like you're calling them names. You're saying, listen, you're.
And the guy makes a documentary called Super Mensch about how he's a mensch. What kind of fucking mensch leaves out your partner? That's not a mensch. It's a dick move.
cheap thing to do.
It's a terrible thing to do. And the younger generation aren't gonna. They weren't there. They don't know it. We're talking about in the 60s and 70s.
Like you said, they'll think the documentary is what it is, even though the documentary is bullshit.
Complete bullshit.
And to me, like, well, I'm not saying it because I've met and known his dad, and it's just that would hurt me to my core, even if it wasn't me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm mad now. So
And my dad confronted Shep about it, but he's like, "Oh, well, Mike Myers produced it. It was all Mike Myers wanted it to be about him." Well, look, Mike Myers wasn't there. You gotta tell the truth.
you got to tell Mike Myers, you're the one that's. But if
Your
anything,
dad
he
still
should
has
tell,
contact with Shep and stuff?
Yeah.
he should tell Shep, listen, fuck Mike Myers.
Do the right thing. Put this real
But you know
story
what?
out there.
I've seen them do movies where they've left people out, and they went back and did another movie pertaining to the other partner.
Yeah.
There was a couple different things where they're like, no, and they actually started off the part of history that wasn't told, and that's what they should do
Yeah,
because because his side of it should be told.
And you know what the thing was is that my dad's story is actually more interesting. My dad and him, 2 guys, sold weed, ended up getting arrested, all kinds of stuff, raised money. Like that's an interesting. Like this whole Jimi Hendrix, and that's all just fabricated. Like,
Well, that's hype.
but that's not what happened. Like the actual story. It's like you ever see one of those like paintings where they have like Marilyn Monroe and James Dean and Sinatra, and they're all like, but they're not really together. I'm always like, that's not. Show me the painting of like when Marilyn Monroe was really there.
Yeah.
Or show me the James Dean photo. I don't want to see like all these Looney Tune pictures.
Yeah,
Of
but-
forced bullshit.
I think your dad is going to have to maybe write something from his side of it.
He actually did, but it was so much profanity and stuff. I was like, Dad, do not post this because you look like a madman here.
Yeah, but no, I mean write something and to go do a documentary from his side.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to show the other side and then show the real side.
But the thing was, it wasn't even like it just excluded him. It wasn't even like
That's what I'm saying. It
him
should
versus
be,
him. It was like this is what happened. This is the truth.
like him going to the Rock and Roll Hall of
Hall of Fame and
Hall
the
of
other-
Fame, and them not. All of that should be told.
Absolutely. So
And even if you have to shoot a documentary, like yourself.
yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people who have done stuff, and there was a guy that helped James Cameron, and James Cameron excluded him. And then he shot the documentary. James Cameron saw it and went, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then reshot it after he made it look so bad. It made him look so bad, and he knew this was true because the guy that helped him, I forget his name, and I'm sorry I'm forgetting his name. He showed photos, pictures, all the shit they were doing. He had video of them actually doing the shit that he was excluded from.
Right.
So I think that's helped him. And then Cameron actually found his heart, like years later, which is bullshit, but
Yeah.
that's what he did. So I mean,
it's just hurtful when you like your roommate in college and your best friend that you came out with, and you
Right.
guys did all this stuff together. And look, Shep managed Alice up until now. Like he's still the manager, but that wasn't when the big hits were out.
When Alice was Alice Cooper.
That wasn't when you had the 12 gold records. That if you want to say, here's what happened, here's my partner then, here's what happened afterwards, just tell the fucking truth.
Right.
Anyway, so speaking of the truth, yesterday I took my middle school kids to the high school over vacation to wrestle with the high school team because they have to open up the gym. It's a whole thing. I'm like, all right, we'll go to high school practice. But they'll wrestle with each other, not high school kids. But there's Pally High School has this one kid who's like, I think 185, 190, who's like ranked 8th.
What?
Ranked 8th in like the state, right? So he's wrestling. I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me see how I do against this kid, right? But you know, in your mind, I forget that I'm 40. I haven't wrestled in 5 years since my knee surgery. But I'm like, fuck it, let's go. So we go the first time. I go on top, and I actually put it in a cradle, almost had like a suicide cradle on him. And he's like, I'm gonna get you back. Then I'm like, I'm feeling kind of good because I'm like,
wait a minute, I still got it. I still got it.
Then this kid that I used to coach in 6th and 7th grade, who's now a junior, who's like 140, all muscle, was like, let's go, me and you. Fucker took me down. This is my kid that I coached, and I'm like, I taught you how to wrestle.
This is definitely like where Miyagi gets his ass kicked
by Daniel's son. I was
it's like, wait a minute, dude. I showed you that shit.
I was like, all right, it's over. He just took me down, but I got 35 pounds in this kid. But he's going every day for the past 6 years.
So you got to think it's different. When you get older, you know that.
I haven't done it in 5, but I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm like, we're going again. I'm like, all right. So we went again, and I just took him down and put him on his back, and it was over. And then he.
But did that
mad.
make you feel better? Like where you go, yeah, I had to show you what's up, you little bitch.
If I didn't have 35 pounds on him, I probably would.
Really?
I mean, it definitely made me feel like, okay, I'm not. Yeah, of course they would feel better. You're 100%. Yeah. But of course, I'm all bright red. Like I got like matte marks over here. I went without a headgear, so my cauliflower ear that I had surgery on in 19 is like inflamed up, and my kids are like, Coach, what happened to your face? I'm like, shut up, kid.
Yeah. But do you have the younger kids go against the older kids sometime so they'll get better? Sometimes that makes them better, even though when they get their ass kicked. Does that make sense?
Sometimes we do. We definitely do have that, you know. But then of course you could ruin a kid's confidence if he's getting beaten up by a 6th grader and he's in high school.
But But if he's a 6th grader. You know, he got to know I'm a 6th grader. Maybe I'm not where I need to be.
No, I'm saying the kid that gets if he beats the high school kid. I've had that happen.
That's good.
But I think that's good for them.
My 7th grader took down a freshman, but I'm saying for the freshman, he's like, oh shit, I'm getting beat up by a 7th grader. It's not.
No, I don't think
he's got to put the work in, and you know,
got to put the work
happens.
in. I got to say this, and I was at my house watching him train these kids. Adam's the real deal. Like he really. I don't know. You connect with them. I would probably not. I'd be horrible.
It's hard.
I'd probably hurt one of them for sure.
No, I mean, coaching wrestling is like
coaching middle school is super. I used to coach high school, and coaching middle school is super tough.
It's super tough because
you're like the first you got to teach them all the basics. Like they're not coming in with maybe some.
But they have youth and strength though.
Well, the thing is, their ADHD is off the charts, so you have to kind of make it fun for them, and you can't burn them out. So you gotta somehow play a game. I gotta teach them a new move at the end of practice, a brand new move. That way they have to drill the old stuff, but
they get the new move makes them more interested.
Gets them more exciting. But you just realize okay, I'm not gonna yell, I'm not gonna scream.
Right.
I'm just gonna make you guys do sprawls. So if I have to raise my voice again, 50 sprawls. And then you make them do 100 sprawls once, and they won't do it again.
Right. And after that, they go, I get it.
Yeah, but there's still that. A lot of times it's just who they partner with. You get 2 kids that are just they're going to mess around the whole time. So you have to take them away from each other. And then sometimes you get a kid that's off the charts, bad. I've had that where it's he's.
Well, what do you do with that? What do you do?
It's hard. I mean, because you want.
I couldn't do it.
It is hard.
I give you props because I'll tell you right now. I'm like, hey man, let's me and you go a little bit, and then I'd hurt him.
No, definitely not that. The hardest.
I wouldn't do that. Parents are like, fuck you. Why would you do that?
The hardest thing to coach is when you have a kid that's good at wrestling with a bad attitude,
right?
Because the kids look up to him, and if he has a bad attitude, it's going to infect the whole team. So that's the hard part.
But what if he's really good though?
Well, I'm saying when a kid sucks and he's got a bad attitude, the kid's like, oh, that guy sucks. When he's really good. And he's gonna be. That's the hardest.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it.
Wrestling, it's a lot easier than teaching math or science or history. At least you're teaching them. But I got a really good squad this year. I got a good.
You got a good squad.
Yeah.
But we watched maybe 2 clips of you, and then with the kid that just won.
Oh yeah.
And
Ahmad.
Yeah, I was like really, but I just said he looked so slow, and it was a friend of mine. We're watching it. Me and Keith were watching it, going, he looks slow though.
Oh, the kids from Russia. Russians they have.
We were talking about that earlier.
They have it's a different mentality. They're just tougher. Kids from third world countries are usually just tougher than American kids. I hate to say it. I mean, it's not.
Is that why you think Brazilian?
It's not always the case. But when you come from Eastern Europe,
yeah,
and wrestling's like the national sport, and it's just a different mentality.
It's their football.
It's their football, but
it's
also
their football, basketball,
and their parents did it. And
grandma wrestled,
grandpa wrestled. It's a different thing. It's like my friend had a joke about that. My friend John Roy, he said, you get these Eastern European basketball players, you can't talk shit to them. Like you'll be like, yo man, what you got? I'm from the hood. You guys like, my entire family was blown up, and they murdered everyone there. Like, what are you gonna say to that guy? How are you gonna intimidate that guy? Yeah. So speaking of fighting, we got to talk about what happened over the weekend. Robbie Lawler.
Oh my goodness.
I
don't want to talk about it. Don't make me cry.
You know what? I picked Lawler to win this fight. I did too. I was dead wrong. I thought he'd be too big for Dos Anjos, but also Lawler looked good against Cerrone. But with Cerrone, almost you wonder what Cerrone had left when he fought him.
But Cerrone's been through too many wars.
Another guy.
I think that he was already.
But this is the best Dos Anjos we've seen in years.
By far.
And now and Bubba Jenkins walked out Dos Anjos. I was proud of Bubba. So now the question is, should Dos Anjos fight Tyron Woodley next, or should Colby Covington fight him next?
No, he should fight Tyron Woodley.
No, Dos Anjos or Colby?
Yes, Dos Anjos.
But Colby's ranked number 3.
Nope.
He just beat Damian Maia. They have a huge feud. You know it's gonna sell tickets. You gotta. And Dos Anjos. He didn't. I mean, he lost to Tony.
You're just pulling for your boy.
He lost to Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, he is pulling. Did you see him just?
He's pulling out.
Dude,
no, I'm just saying.
You know what? He bought me one time. He bought me some.
He comes on the show.
He is a friend of mine.
He bought me a soda.
He is a friend of mine.
He bought me a soda once. No,
Colby's.
You are so wrong on this shit. And I don't care who watches it. You can get mad. I mean, he should get the next shot for the belt. Period. The end. So he went the things he did to Lawler. I think he is.
Yeah, but Woodley knocked out Lawler in 1 minute.
That's true.
I mean,
So
we're talking about a guy who got knocked out 1 minute by Tyron Woodley. Whereas
but I think it would be a totally different fight with Woodley.
Of course it would be. Colby beat Maia.
But that's his only top 10 win. He has
what was Kim rank when he beat him? He was number 9 or 8 or.
He was 8.
Don Kim or something.
Yeah,
but you're right. That's
he's not facing any contenders. RDA just beat a former champion. He's got some pretty big wins.
He beat 2. So no, I still think that.
Who was the second?
No, it's definitely 2 because I just watched
it.
I don't think he does.
He was the champion.
He was the champion.
Yeah, then he lost to Eddie Alvarez, and then he lost to Tony Ferguson.
You said a top guy. What's his name?
He beat Neil Magny.
Well, you could kind of consider Safadine a former champion, I guess. If you count Strikeforce.
Yeah, but that was what 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Well,
I wouldn't do that, but I'm saying if he's saying beat a former champion, yes, right. Safadine was a former champion. But Lawler's a pretty big win. Neil Magny's a pretty big win.
It's a very debatable thing. I mean, look, if we're gonna go by the new UFC, which seems to now all of a sudden put Bisping versus GSP.
That was hilarious.
And Gastelum versus whatever. And we're just going to start throwing fights together. Then the fight that I think people would be more excited about would be Colby Covington versus Tyron Woodley.
Nate Diaz, Tyron, the one people would actually be excited about.
Right.
But Nate wants too much. Nate wants $15
Diaz
million.
Versus whoever.
Diaz versus anybody. However, although I do think maybe you're right. Maybe the hardcore fans would probably want to see RDA versus.
It's a good style match. He presents a lot of advantage. A lot of challenges for Tyron. He could he could defend the takedown. He could take down
wrestling
Tyron.
is bananas. His wrestling's bananas.
RDA can wrestle though.
No, I'm saying, but no, I think the level of and also his hands. just hands-wise.
He looked amazing. RDA looked the best
he looked great. But the reason he won that fight, and we were debating on Twitter on this, the reason he won that fight were the leg kicks.
Oh, yeah.
He was smoking him on the leg kicks, and he didn't check not one leg kick. You saw his leg.
This was definitely the worst Robbie Lawler we've seen, obviously, since the Woodley fight. This is the worst we've seen him in the last probably 10 fights. By the way, Ian Harris just joined us. Ian Harris, a very funny comedian slash MMA slash
apparently watches aren't your thing.
Slash MMA coach slash whatever. Okay, so now
we're debating about it. Jump into it.
Whether or not Colby Covington or Rafael Dos Anjos should fight Tyron Woodley next.
Dos Anjos. I said Dos Anjos because he looked so good in that fight. I think that just the energy coming off of that, going right into
but you can't always do it by one fight.
No, you can't go by one fight.
Looked good against Magny.
He's been looking good. He's been looking good at this weight. I mean,
what's the case for Colby?
Colby, case for Colby is
because he's friends. He likes Colby
because I'm the podcast. He came to my comedy show.
He came to my comedy show. He's a supporter.
He gave me a really good hand job. The case for
until the boomerang came flying.
The case for Colby is he beat Damian Maia, and I mean he shut him out. He won 5 rounds to nothing against Damian Maia.
Right.
He's only had 1 loss. Okay, versus Dos Anjos who had 7 losses, 5 or 6 losses, and. Also, the feud, like the fact that he's going to talk so much shit,
right,
and he's going to sell the fight, and it's going to be sort of a good versus evil thing. They used to train together. Colby said he beat him in training.
But so you're saying because of the story of it?
But then again,
no. But I'm talking
Dos Anjos is that good of a fighter where he also people would want to see.
People would want to see him, and he's got a huge fan base too. And there's a lot of people want to see it. And right now, Tyron Woodley's he talked shit about him. He said
he's out with a surged shoulder anyway, right? Tyron?
Yeah, but he's still he'll.
So who do you think should get that, or should
can't they fight each other?
Yeah, I think
that's what they should do.
Yeah,
I want to see because then you can talk shit about.
What sucks is that Wonder Boy is the number 2 guy, and Wonder Boy is being totally overlooked right now because. Or number 1 guy now because his fights with Woodley were so bad. The second one at least.
Second one was bad.
The first one wasn't great either though.
Yeah,
it was.
So should it be Wonder Boy versus Colby?
They seem too tentative. I felt like they should have opened it up on each other more.
Yeah, absolutely. They were both too tentative. I don't know. I kind of would like to see that. Although, like anything, then you got that eliminator fight always. But I wouldn't mind seeing Dos Anjos versus Colby first. Just how much shit he talks about Brazilians.
But then, so you don't think he should get it? No, you don't think he should get a shot?
Give everybody boomerangs
just because of his history, just because he was a champion. You don't think he should get a shot at a champion?
Well, it depends. If Tyron's hurt, then this whole.
But I mean, by the time they set the fight up, he'll be ready to go.
So should RDA or Colby fight? Now, I don't know. I mean,
that would be a good. It would be good.
A lot of people hate Colby to the point where they don't want to see him get the title shot. So, but you can't go with that either way. You can't hate someone's personality.
But you can't say. A lot of people hate McGregor, and a lot of people love him, but a lot of people hate him.
I think RDA's done a lot more to deserve it at this point. If there was a
Neil
direct shot,
but he beat Robbie Lawler, who lost to Woodley in 1 minute. And he beat Neil Magny, who's on a 4-fight losing streak.
Yeah, but even when Lawler, when he lost, that was a fucking devastating knockout. But when he lost, I still thought if they fought again, I don't think he'd fight that way.
Of course,
but. That was a.
All right, so another fight.
He brutalized that motherfucker.
Another fight that happened over the weekend. Mike Perry. Versus Ponzinibbio.
He talked so much shit and got his ass kicked.
He didn't get his ass kicked.
Get the fuck out of here.
He won the first round.
He won the first round, and that was
the second round. He was winning, and then he lost the second half of the second round.
So he lost.
And he lost the third round.
He lost the second round.
You know what? Listen, Mike Perry. I've not been a fan of Mike Perry's antics. The way he treated Allen, the way he treated Ellenberger, his whole thing, I don't know what's going on with him. The eyebrow tattoo. Okay, I'm not the biggest fan of him. However, I like the way he fights, and I gotta say. He impressed me in this fight because
oh my god,
Ponzinibbio. It was a close enough fight.
This shit was gonna go like this today.
It was a close enough fight, and Ponzinibbio, who blew out Gunnar Nelson. I mean, Mike Perry was not ranked, and I think his stock actually goes up.
Perry got if he didn't have that overhand left bullshit, he was getting housed. The last round, he was getting housed. He was getting housed the second half of the second round. He was getting housed.
He wasn't getting housed. He was winning that last round until he got caught with the spinning back fist.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
He wasn't winning. No, he wasn't.
Andrew, was he winning until he got caught spinning back fist? Mike Perry. The third, even the third
Perry
round.
was getting it.
That was close. It was close.
It was a close fight.
Yeah, it wasn't. There was no.
You
ass
got
kicking.
to give it to both those guys just for the straight up toughness, if nothing else.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just the fact that guys like that can take those shots and get up and keep fighting, and like that's kind of
damn.
Yeah.
There you go.
But Perry, there was a couple times where he rocked Perry.
But Perry rocked him. He had him running.
He rocked him. No,
he had him
in
running
the first
away.
round. In the first round, he rocked him.
That was a razor
first round
thin
was
fight
crazy.
for me.
In the first round, he rocked him, but then after that, he adjusted. After he adjusted, he started fucking teeing off on him, and especially the second half. The second half of the second round, tell the truth, he turned it completely around.
The second he did.
And Perry
That's
started
why
looking
I
whack.
agree with it. He was.
And I like Perry. I like the way he talks shit. I know you don't like that. I think he's hilarious. I like the way he talks shit, and that sells fights. But man, he talked a lot of shit and got his ass kicked.
No, he did not get his ass.
He got his ass kicked.
Ah.
Adam is
What?
I thought the fight was razor thin.
Yeah.
I thought it was
close.
very close.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
don't know what fights you guys are watching, but I'm gonna tell you
I don't know.
that second half of the second round.
I don't know. I think you should start smoking pot again. I think the non-weed is affecting your brain.
Okay, I got to start smoking.
It'll make you a little sharper.
He's like,
Make it a little sharper.
By the way, before we
So,
That's the
hold up. But
excuse you
before we
needed right
just put that off there. So you're telling me the second half of the second round, he wasn't getting housed.
he was winning the first half of the second
The
round.
first half.
So he won half the round, and then he lost the second half, which is usually the way the judges go on momentum.
They go on momentum.
So, which I think,
if you're on top at the end of a round and you got control, and if you're doing any kind of ground and pound, and the other person is not, you win that
if
round.
Mike Perry
Even
doesn't, if
you
Perry
knock
does
me
not
down.
get caught with that spinning back fist, in the third round,
that's not how fights are judged, though.
Yes,
That's
yes, they're not judged that way. Are you crazy?
that's how they are judged.
guys
They
are-
not
completely.
necessarily shouldn't be judged that way.
the
but they are
way the
judged that
rules
way.
are. That's not.
You're gonna tell me they're not judged by that?
Well, who's on top at the end of a round? I think it has a big significance.
No, if you have control.
it depends. Look, if you lose 4.5 minutes of a round and the guy gets a takedown at the end, it's the guy who won the 4.5 minutes is going to win the round.
Well, nowadays,
he should.
Not too long ago, they
He
would
should.
just give, like, whatever. A guy got a takedown? How much? 2 seconds left?
Well,
Yeah, he wins.
only
Like,
against your fighters.
Yeah, exactly. That is true.
That is true.
By the way, so
I've been.
before we
we've
get to
had some
DeAnna
robberies.
Bennett, I got to talk to Ian Harris, by the way, who is a great trainer. Kind of a hard luck trainer. He every time there's a split decision, you never get. Have you ever won a split decision as a trainer?
I won one recently, actually. Yeah, and I was blown away because I didn't think we were going to get it.
You've had more luck with Netflix than
Yeah, exactly.
But
No, it is weird. Like I've had, we've had. I mean, I have a really good winning. Our team has a really high winning percentage, but every time it goes to decision and it's close, it's got to be 90%.
I saw a couple of them.
It's
I was
crazy.
there, and I'm not just saying I was actually there for
Right.
for the Combate one.
Oh, yeah.
Where I'm like,
You're like, how does that even go? How was that even split? It's
Yeah.
like sometimes I'm
So
just saying.
do you feel like they are after a while after like time after time after time you think it's fuck they're after me?
No, it's funny because I'm friends with all the judges. I almost think it's the other way around. Like that they judge me extra harshly because they don't want to be. Oh, I like that guy. He's cool.
We're cool, and I don't want them to think it's some kind of collusion.
Yeah. I think that's part of it, and I think sometimes judges just. I think angles change things because I know people that are great judges. They know what they're doing. Like I know one judge. He's a really good grappler.
Right.
And I swear, I mean, I've had conversations with him too, where it's like he basically says, I don't really consider positional dominance.
oh god.
I mean, in a sense, he doesn't say that exactly, but here's the deal. And actually, Terrion was the one that pointed out to me. He goes, but think about it. This guy's a great grappler. You get on his back, and you're not really threatening. He's not worried. So he looks at that guy and he goes, yeah, he's on his back, but he gets hit. He's not a striker, so getting hit to him makes him kind of go, ooh, wow, that guy really got clipped by something. So in his mind, that's closer to ending the fight than 4 minutes on someone's back. Because from a high-level grappler, he's like, well, he wasn't really in any danger.
I honestly think that more fighters need to be like Frank Trigg as a referee. Great. I think more fighters need to be judges
Right.
and need to be refs. And I understand sometimes you'll actually like
But
you
what
said,
if you're cool with another fighter and you're a judge?
then you shouldn't be a judge.
But a lot of fighters that are cool with each other,
I could honestly say I could be cool with people and honestly say if I'm judging
still
something,
judge it. Yeah.
I could. I fucking hate it. It sucks, especially if it's my guy. I mean,
that might
look,
sway you,
Well,
though.
when I was a little league coach, I would just show up to my brother's games, and the umpire wouldn't show up. So I was like, I'm the umpire, and I would cheat the fuck for my brother.
Right.
And it was kind of like
That's what I
It was like
mean.
it was like that Naked Gun thing where he's like, it really was like that. Now I got to talk to you about Terrion Ware because that's your main guy.
Yeah,
he
right,
fought
yeah.
Sean O'Malley.
Right.
It was a great fight, but man, okay, here's what happened. This is my opinion. So first round, I got to give it to O'Malley.
Yeah, it was close, but
very
O'Malley won it for
unconventional. O'Malley. Then second round, Ware almost stopped him.
Yeah, I thought it was over.
I thought if Ware had more power, is it a power thing or?
No, so this is the first time, and not taking anything away from Sean, because Sean's at first I think he was kind of a douche, and then at the end he was like a really cool guy. I like this guy. It's all part of his act. But a couple things happened. Like Terrion, if you ever watch him fight. Even we were talking to Joe Soto before the fight. We were, because you get there a week in advance, and Soto was like, "This is the calmest dude I've ever fought," because they fought way back in Tachi Palace, and he was like, "You look across, you're like, is this guy even awake right now? Like he's completely calm." Yeah, no, because you just because Terrion just kind of moves around like this, and you're like, "All right, well," and so he never gets nervous. There's no jitters. He never. Even the people were saying he's got an endless gas tank, which is normally the case, and in this fight, the goal was to do what he did in the first minute, the first round. But that was supposed to be at 2 minutes. Then what he did in the second round was what he was supposed to do the majority of the first.
Right.
And then our goal was, by the middle of the second round, take him down, smash him, finish him. Like that's exactly where we thought it was going to go. We did beat him up really bad, beat him with the body, take him down, finish him. That's exactly how we thought it was going to go. He was way too flat starting out.
You think he was impressed by O'Malley's power?
No, he said he didn't, because he didn't feel anything. He said
so what do you think?
He said he goes nothing against O'Malley. He goes I didn't. He barely got hit. Most things hit him on the arm.
What do you think? But O'Malley has a very awkward style. He
said that it was after the fight. He said, I feel like, because we said, why didn't you go to the whole goal was to go to the body more. He goes, even the body. He goes, he was so elusive. He ran so much. He goes that I felt like I was out of range, and he goes, he definitely was better at range control than I thought he was going to be, and he definitely, his timing, he goes, I bit on his fakes too much. He goes, that kind of stuff he normally doesn't do, and he goes, and I fell for a little bit of it. It took me longer to get in my rhythm. But then after watching the fight later on, he goes, I was just headhunting. He goes, I don't know. I didn't go to the body as much as I thought. When we were screaming, like, go to the body, go to the body.
I thought you did a great job coaching, because I was listening. I'm listening to you, and you're like, he's breaking.
Right.
And I'm like, man, when you said that, Terrion's confidence was, and he was.
Well, O'Malley actually looked at me like, what? And then he looked over at John Crouch like, huh?
And he actually was breaking at that point in the second round. Third round, he got 3 takedowns on Terrion. I'm like, was that shocking to you?
Well, extremely shocking. First off, he was talking all this trash about, once he gets hit by me, he's going to shoot for a double leg. And in fact, it was the exact opposite, which we knew was going to happen, because we knew once he got touched up by Terrion, he was going to be like, this guy strikes better than I thought. He was going to shoot for takedowns. Our goal was definitely to take him down. What happened in the third round, though, is something weird. Again, there was like a whole bunch of weird anomalies in this fight. One, I've never seen Terrion get tired, and I've never seen him he said afterward, he goes, I think I was just so pissed that they were just all over this guy's jock. I mean, it was like the warm up and the preview, like all the. It
was all about
it was like, Sean O'Malley, the king of the world, Terrion Ware, some fucking douchebag is going to fight him. Sean O'Malley's amazing, and then it's like.
So you think that got in his head, and he's like,
I think he was like, okay, I'm going to knock this kid's head off. And then when he saw him in the second round. But he also said, he goes, I've never clinched up, but in the third round, he said, I could not even make a fist with my hands the third round. He goes, something happened with my forearms, and I was so locked up. He goes, I just couldn't. He tried to body lock him. He said he goes, I don't know if he's so skinny or what, but he was really slippery. I couldn't lock my hands together. All the body, and Terrion's been like suplexing people. We were doing the Mighty Mouse suplex to armbar in training. Like he's doing it to like 55ers in training. And so we thought, he's just going to, once he beats his kid up, he's just going to pick him up and slam on his head and submit him. He goes, I could not get any grip on this guy. He goes, and then the third round.
You think he was greased?
No, I don't. I don't know if
Damn.
Right, but
I think there was something.
No, but he said, he goes, being skinny. He goes, and he's so elusive. But it's like we look back at it, and Terrion would hit him with the right, hit him with the left, and then wind up and throw this crazy right, and Sean would duck and run away. And I'm like, if you'd have just thrown a head kick or thrown to the body, you probably would have clipped it.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean,
he moves really well.
I'll tell you, Terrion made a ton of fans that fight. I think that it was. I think that it was not a loss. I mean, it was. I mean, Terrion's now. I mean, he's now 0-2 in the UFC, but he's not getting cut after that fight.
No way. And Shelby said the same thing, and I mean, it was cool because we all thought, including O'Malley, we all thought we were getting the bonus.
Right.
Like O'Malley came up after. He goes, "Hey man, thanks for a great fight." Like, he came over like after the fight, like 10 times. He ran to him in the lobby, ran into him after coming to the locker room. Like, he was way respectful afterward and really cool. And so were his coaches, who were kind of mean mugging us a little bit throughout the week, or we felt that way. And then afterward, his coach was like, "Man, that was a great fight," and they were really cool. And it was funny because everyone kept going, "Well, at least we get that $50,000," and then it didn't come. Everyone was like,
Oh yeah, I can't believe Roxanne, which was a good fight,
right?
But was definitely not a better fight than
not that bone. It wasn't a bonus fight.
No, but you know what? It was one of those things. I think both stocks went up. I do think the UFC probably was pretty happy that like your boy didn't get the upset because they are building.
Oh, they were building.
They're pushing it.
Well,
like,
it was
they choose who they push though,
and it was so bad. Like my wife, you should see all the texts. My wife's like afterward, like I'm gonna text in between rounds. Like, I'm gonna check my text in between rounds.
Right.
But like when I get back, I got like 20 texts from my wife. She's like. Man, Daniel Cormier did like some shit. Like, does Daniel Cormier owe this kid money? She's sucking this kid's dick. Like, and the funny thing is,
you see the residual dick
exactly.
jizz on Cormier's lips.
The funny thing is, twice in the fight, Cormier, or I think it was Cormier, or whoever was, I forgot who his other person was, but twice they said that something I said. The other, like when second round came out and Taran was coming out, and I go, all right, T, get your swagger on. And he dropped his hands and started doing this, which is what he does. And then he just started teeing off on O'Malley. And then you hear him go, you hear O'Malley's corner talking about getting his swagger on. I'm like, O'Malley's corner, hey, whatever. And then later on he said something. He's like, you can hear O'Malley's corner. I'm like, that's not O'Malley's corner. Okay,
that's you being a comedian wanting credit for your jokes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Hey, man, that's my bit.
It just was funny, though. I was like, all right, you are all over his jock, and then you can't even give it.
So we're going to talk to another girl that was on that card. Look, people, before I get to DeAnna Bennett, I want to tell you guys about FuegoBox.com. Look, everyone's done all the standard gift items, clothes, cologne, a nice bottle of liquor. Done. We've got something different and much better than any of those this holiday season. Do you put hot sauce on everything? I do. I love hot sauce. And if so, it's time to check out Fuego Box, a hot sauce club that delivers boxes of small batch and gourmet hot sauces right to your doorstep. They focus on flavor over heat and always avoid gimmicky selections. Think of it as a hot sauce club for people who love food. To purchase, go to FuegoBox.com and use code GASTRO for $10 off your first box. That's FuegoBox.com, promo code GASTRO for $10 off the best hot sauces you've probably never heard of. So check it out. DeAnna Bennett, really good fighter. Kind of hot too, actually.
Like both. She's both.
Yeah, she's just not kind of hot. She's hot chick, good fighter. Hello, is this DeAnna Bennett?
Yes, it is.
You're on the MMA Roasted podcast. How are you doing?
I'm fabulous. Thanks for having me.
No problem. You're here with Shang, Forbes, Andrew Montañez, Ian Harris, really 4 comedians. So it's good to have you on the show. I really enjoyed you on The Ultimate Fighter this year. I thought you were. I didn't know. Like I knew you from Facebook and whatever, but I didn't know how horny you were. You were constantly giving your everyone lap dances in the house and rubbing their faces in your crotch. I mean, who knew? You were such a fun girl.
I mean, is that not how you make friends? I thought
that is a good way to make friends.
No, you definitely.
Unless you're a senator.
It's a good way to make fans.
Unless you're from Alabama.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you were very good at giving these lap dances. Were you ever a dancer or anything? Or?
Oh gosh, definitely not. I know you saw them on there. They're very uncoordinated and they were very awkward, and so I don't think I would make a lot of money with that. But
no, I thought they were great.
Who knows? If fighting doesn't pay off.
So guys, if you missed it, people would be sitting on the couches, and she would jump on the couch and rub their faces in her crotch. It was it was outstanding. Outstanding.
It made me like where you said you don't know a person, and you said it made me like you more. Like oh wow, she's cool. Like
yeah.
Oh, that's what it takes to be cool,
no,
right?
it doesn't take somebody rubbing their crotch.
Cool.
Well, it does take someone rubbing my crotch. But I'm with
you didn't think I was cool when I did it to you.
Well, yeah, but that was different. That was totally different.
All right.
Because that was different. Balls banging against my face is totally different.
Yeah. Guys can't do that. Guys can't jump on couches.
But no, it really,
yeah.
other than being, other than your fighting, it made me go, okay, she's cool.
There.
Yeah, of course. Now, do you have a boyfriend or or girlfriend? What are you into?
Definitely into guys, and I am completely 100% single at this point in time.
Nice. So you're 100% single and horny. Good. That's good. I know.
What the hell?
Now, do you train out of New Jersey or?
Yeah. Right after the show ended, I hopped in my car, drove from Utah to New Jersey, and kind of stuck here, and I love it. And so this is my new home. Nice.
Now, what camp are you? Are you at a Frankie Eggers camp and Mark Henry?
Yeah, training with Mark Henry and those guys. You know, I loved them from the show, and they thought that they were done with me after that point in time, but I followed them. So
Nice. So you have what's your name also on that Caitlin Kukogan, right? She's out of there?
Yeah, Caitlin, and then Sarge actually from the show. She started training out here too. So.
Oh, nice.
Well, can I ask questions? Because I don't usually get to ask questions. Like, what was the best and the worst part of doing that show? Like, because there's got to be parts of it you went, this is bullshit, fuck this, and then there's other parts where you went, this is awesome. Like, I need to know both. No, there's got to be parts. There got to be.
Good question. Best part was all I had to do was worry about getting up and training and fighting the entire time.
Right.
That was great. The only thing that sucked for me was I couldn't see my dog. That's the only thing I didn't like. But besides that, everything else was great. But I guess not being able to leave the house because you're basically in white-collar prison. Like, you're in a mansion, but you're trapped there and you can't leave. So it's like the Martha Stewart prison experience. But besides that, it was good.
It's funny you said that because I actually read that you have joint custody of your dog. So was that you and your ex-boyfriend got a dog together and you guys kind of split it?
Yeah, we got him together, and then when we split up, he gets him 1 week, I get him the next week, and so it's a process.
Now,
the dog's worth it. He's cute.
Is that hard seeing him though? To kind of like, because I know that could be annoying having to go over there and having to have him give you the dog, and you have to give him the dog, and.
I mean, we maintain it. It's civil, so we're on good enough terms that we can switch off the dog. We don't do much talking, but besides that,
I know exactly how that is. Me and my ex, we had joint custody of like cats and dogs. It was a whole thing. What's that noise? Hello, are you here?
I don't know what that was.
Did you hear that?
Here now.
I don't know what that was either.
No, that was
okay,
aliens.
so also, all right.
Aliens
So let's talk about some of the fights. So the fight with Sahara, it was a good. That one fight, that head kick was brutal. Obviously, you were there. So you're fighting Sahara. Everything's going okay. All of a sudden, boom. When you wake up, do you know where you are?
Oh, no, I had no idea. And it was actually real embarrassing. First time watching the show, I actually watched it with her because we were rooming together here in Jersey for a little bit. And I had no idea. I did that really awkward, just like the little voice crack. And I was like, guys, production, could you not have cut that out? Damn. Like, I can handle being knocked out, but not the awkward, like, I'm like,
so the noise is what it bothered you?
Yeah, I had no idea that happened. And so I was just like, oh, okay, that's embarrassing. Like, I get being knocked out, but I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Definitely don't talk to somebody after they get knocked out. Like, I see what... Yeah, they mean about that.
Now, how long after that, when you got knocked out? Like, was it a couple hours? You figured out where you were? Was it the next day? Was it?
It was later on that day. Like, I came to and I was just like, well, I remember the fight, and I remember going like, all right, this is going my way. This is great. Like, loving it. Like, sorry, buddy, you're my friend, but I'm punching you in the face. And then the next thing I knew, I was in the locker room, and I was like, oh. Guys, team.
Wow.
What happened? And then I was like, I'm assuming because I don't remember it, it definitely didn't go my way, so shit.
Well,
that's awful.
Hours later, I've been knocked out, and when I got knocked out, I saw a white light, and then I woke up, and it wasn't hours later, but I was aware of it, though. I was like, yo, I got knocked the fuck
it depends.
out.
I've had people who call me the next day, like after explaining it to them in training like 30 times, every 30 minutes. Hey, what just happened? And we explained to them again the next day. I had a kid call me up the next day. hey, what the hell happened yesterday? I'm like, oh my God, go to a hospital, dude. You are,
Really?
yeah, seriously. I mean, this kid got knocked out so bad in training one day.
Some serious brain trauma there.
Yeah, he would just start crying because he was like, I don't know what happened. Like, he was a young kid. I felt so bad for. Was this your first time ever getting knocked out?
In a fight, yes. I was knocked out once before in practice, actually by my ex-boyfriend. Except for he told my coach, she's like, no, she tripped. And I was like, yeah, I tripped right into your uppercut.
She fell down the stairs.
Wow, wait.
But
So,
I remember that one.
wait, hold up.
Wait a minute, she tripped?
Wait, so you're sparring with your ex-boyfriend, and who's your ex-boyfriend? Do I know him?
No, he trains in Utah. He was just a local fighter.
So you guys are sparring. He uppercuts you, knocks you out. At that point, are you like, do you leave him after that, or he? I mean, talk to me.
Unfortunately, we were still together for a point of time after that, but it was definitely a sore spot in the relationship. Like, hey, remember that one time you knocked me out, you jackass?
Is that the one you share the dog with?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Is that the you shared a dog with that guy? Is that the guy?
What was that?
Is that the one that you have the dog with?
That is the one I have the dog with, yeah.
I think you should keep the dog. Yeah, that's your dog.
That's fair.
Now,
Right? I could use
you could
that
sue
as
for
one of
that,
the reasons
yeah.
why I'm like, hey, you knocked me out. I get to keep the damn dog.
now, but in your next fight, though, in the Ultimate Fighter finale, you were winning that fight against the girl from Hungary. You were kicking her ass, actually. You looked amazing. And then that same fucking head kick landed. And I'm like, oh, no. I mean, what? Now, are you in your head going, not again? I mean, you got to be going, not again, right?
Oh, 100%. It hit me, and obviously I got a little bit of a flash, and I was just like, as I'm falling backwards, it feels like I'm in slow motion, like, no, for the love of everything, no. And so I came up and, like, tried to shoot for a leg, but my brain was, like, rattling around inside, and the one thing I could think of was just like, this is, like, the number one thing that I worked on since I got out of the house was hands up, don't get kicked. Don't get kicked. And I was like, man, you gotta be, dang it. Like the one thing I was working on.
Yeah,
and
no,
then,
I was like,
definitely
no.
rattled my brain, so.
That's exactly what I was like. But I'll tell you what, you came back, you won the second round, you won the third round, and a lot of people, I would say, would have folded, would have lost that fight.
That'd have been it for them.
But you came back and you showed me more in that draw than most fighters show ever. I mean, it shows how tough you are and how your spirit and how good of a fighter you are.
Because after a head kick like that, usually some people would just like, you know what, I'm folding up. It's done. I'm done.
100%.
Yeah. No, a lot of people would. That's no bullshit. I've seen
like, no.
really tough dudes like getting kicked in the head and they go, you know what? I think I'm going to go to bed now.
Right. But, and like the crowd was booing and I'm like, the fuck are you guys booing? This girl just got, are you guys nuts?
Yeah, but you know what? The crowd's audience is the same shit. Sometimes they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
You said sometimes. A lot of times they don't.
Yeah, no.
I hate people boo.
Now, I read that you got released from the UFC. Is that true?
It is. I did get a notice that they decided to cut my little tour with them a little bit short. And I was like, I mean, guys, it was a draw. I thought I did well. Like, obviously not my best performance. I definitely should have blocked that head kick. But I'm like, do I agree with it? No, but what are you going to do? I mean, the girl I fought's still in there, which is good for her, she's actually my friend. I love her to death, but I'm like, damn, guys.
No, well, the girl you fought from
I'm
Hungary,
sorry.
so they're probably thinking, like, in case we go to Eastern Europe, we'll have her fight there.
It's very planned.
But that is such bullshit. I mean, you won every minute of that fight except for that one head kick. You came back. Your record is 10-3. You won your first 8 fights. You have wins over Juliana Pena, Jennifer Maia, who's now who beat Roxanne Modafferi, Colleen Schneider. Your only losses are to Jody Escobar and Souza and to Sahara. I mean, you're right there. You're right there. That's complete bullshit.
Hello?
Hello?
Did it go?
You got head kicked again? What happened? Hello? DeAnna.
It dropped out.
DeAnna dropped out, man.
But don't you think the UFC, there's a lot of people that they kind of plan it and they plot ahead of time like this guy, or even a look. I think they do that even with a look.
Oh, 1,000%. They keep people from Australia. They keep people from
that aren't necessarily the best fighters.
But do you think it's different now that it's been bought out? Do you think that it's a completely different plan, or do you think it's always been that way?
No, it's different now.
I think both. I think it's always been that way.
No, I think it's more that
about
way.
Entertainment.
It's more that way because if you look at the fighters from before, if you look at, like to me, I still got, even though he got, he's older already now. Silva to me. That was like that era was really deal dudes to me, and a lot of them I think get shots too fast now.
Well, I think rankings. I mean, look, Anderson Silva fought Nate Marquardt because he was the number one contender, and you look at he fought Thales Leites at the time with number one. Even if the number one contender didn't sell fights, they made the fight.
They had the fight.
Now, if the number one contender doesn't sell fights, they're like, we'll just give number 4 guy, number 6 guy, number 8. And
so it's a different, like that era, you had to fight that guy.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, this dude talks a lot of shit, and we're going to get a lot of pay-per-views, so we got to get this guy. But then he goes in and gets like totally creamed, so I'm like...
And even jumping weight classes is fucking stupid, too. I mean, McGregor is the champion at 45. He hasn't defended it. Then he wins at 55.
They should do the GSP thing, like...
But the GSP thing, they look at that's money. Right. GSP just GSP coming back, people wanted to watch.
No, absolutely, I get it, but then just to vacate the title.
But GSP and everybody thought GSP.
He deserved that fight.
You talked shit. You said he wasn't going to win.
I didn't think he was going to win.
But I mean GSP. I never think that. I never thought that. Every time he fought, I thought. Except for when he fought, and he got knocked out in like the first round.
Matt Serra?
Yeah, I didn't see that shit coming.
Oh, no, nobody's
at all.
Not even GSP.
It's like the biggest upset ever.
But they said Holly Holmes is number 1.
I don't think that.
They said no. Holly Holmes is number 1.
I predicted that fight.
And then the second one, they said
even by head kick.
The Silva. GSP.
But I don't think Holly Holm is a bigger upset than the Sarah.
I don't know.
No way. Sarah.
But Holly Holm was a world champion in boxing.
Yeah, I mean, they may have it ranked that way.
No, but
if
you look at in reality, but I'm saying, you know how they do the top 10?
Yeah, but those TV shows.
Producer people making lists.
Just bullshit.
They go on who can we interview? Who can we this? If you interview a guy who's there, they'll put him in number 40. I mean, even the top 100. The biggest upset. You're right. People were overestimating how good Ronda was, underestimating how good Holly Holm was. But so that fight was actually a lot closer. Holly Holm was undefeated at that point, and then beat Ronda Rousey, and was a 6-time world champion boxer. Matt Serra was coming off an Ultimate Fighter win of like the legends.
Yeah, he won a close decision over Chris Lytle. Like, it wasn't like he was walking through that tournament.
What you mean. Like maybe this show, when they put those shows together, I just watched one. When they put those shows together, maybe it's just like you said.
It's such bullshit.
It's so
bullshit. But the other thing is a lot of like that. I was talking about this with Terry on with his last fight. He was like at one point a 3-1 underdog against O'Malley, and I'm like, he's got 40 fights. He's gone 5 rounds with guys like Luke Sanders, and I'm like, and this kid fought 6 times in Montana.
How do you make?
I'm like, how is Terry on the underdog?
But how do you make spreads that big based on seeing one guy on TV one time?
That's what I'm saying. It's complete.
But that's just what the fans think. Like that's just what the fans are actually.
So people take those. They watch. Oh, Ronda Rousey was 6-1, and it's like, yeah, but that's not based on any kind of. They're not matching up their fighting.
Did you guys bet? Did you guys put some money on them?
At first I said here's what's funny when that fight happened. I said, oh man, they're just gonna give Holly Holm this because she's the All-American girl, she's undefeated. I'm like, she's gonna get destroyed by Ronda Rousey. Then like as the weeks went on, knowing what I know around here, looking at Ronda, looking at her mindset, the whole thing with her and with Edmund and her mom, and then her mom wasn't. When I found out her mom wasn't gonna be in her corner, when I found out all the stuff that was going on, knowing that she's a head case, I'm like, she's gonna get beat. And
not like that though.
No, I actually said.
Are you serious?
No, I was talking to somebody. I
didn't see that.
I go, she escapes one armbar and gets back to her feet. I'm like, Ronda's gonna fold, and I'm like, the only thing is I don't think she's got a lot of power. I said, but she has good head kicks. I go, I bet you if she can escape one arm bar, get to her feet, she'll knock her out with a head kick. And it happened like that. My friend looked at me and was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
No,
but all the way up to that, I was like, Ronda's going to smoke her. And then like the last 2 weeks, I'm like, I don't know.
I had money. I had a fucking parlay of $100 would have won me $10,000.
Are you serious?
I had what's her name?
Fuck me, man.
Letourneau over Joanna, and then Holly over Ronda. And I had a show, and Valerie actually won the first round against Joanna.
Yeah.
So then I go on stage. And then I come off stage and everyone's like, Ronda Rousey got knocked out. I'm like, I've got 10 fucking grand. And then I look and Valerie lost the next 4 rounds. It's
right.
like, oh, damn. But yeah, because like you said, around here, there was all kinds of talk about training issues,
Right.
men issues, this issues, camp issues.
Yeah.
It was the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
As far as it was kind of like with Tyson, people still were like,
when he
people
was
were like
on
Tyson
his
got
run.
when he got knocked out in sparring, and then he was getting this and that, and people kind of that in the inside Mike Tyson's camp, you still go, whoa, well, Ronda could still win, and Tyson could still win, but
I thought Ronda. I was split. I was like, if Ronda gets her on the ground, it's a wrap. That's what I thought. But I thought if she stands up, I seen Holly Holm's hands is no joke.
Well, that's why I was like,
Her
if she
hands are no
can
jokes.
escape one armbar.
okay, so let's talk about Holly versus Cyborg. Who do we?
Oh my God! Now that's one.
I think Cyborg's gonna knock her head into space.
I think she's. Yeah.
I think that we're gonna be watching an orbit,
And
we're
I
gonna
like
see
Holly Holm, but
you don't think that? No, I think Cyborg. But I love Holly Holmes though. I just think that she doesn't have a shot at this.
I think it's Holly Holm. All of a sudden, you made her like Holmes.
Home,
like
home.
but
I didn't mean to say like
No, but like,
that's the LA version.
That's the LA
Holly
totally.
Holmes?
Hey, Holmes? I'm going to tell you right now.
Her real
that
name is Charlie Holmes.
It seems like Cyborg, as soon as she gets you against the gate, some other shit kicks in.
It's just that fight. That's another stupid fight. You're taking a girl who's not even the number one contender at 135, and all of a sudden giving her a title shot at 145 in a division that doesn't even exist.
Right.
It's just okay. So let's say Cyborg wins. Now who's she gonna fight?
Right.
The other girl from Megan, whatever, from Invicta won't come over, or something's happened there, some kind of medical clearance. There's nobody at 145.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the only fight really to make. Whatever, and that just
You got to make the Ultimate Fighter 145 edition.
there aren't enough girls. I don't
They
think.
will, though.
There's like
There's definitely
There's
have to-
definitely
they'd have to-
enough
they'd have to take
girls.
up the-
You're absolutely right.
you just don't know the girls.
You know what though? I have a 145er that's 4-2, 5-2, and I've been trying to find her a fight like off and on. Like she'll stop training for months because it's like I can't get a fight. I can't get her anything.
And there
But
are not
it's
enough
crazy.
girls.
hard.
And we're
But
talking
if they
about
did that-
girls at that level that are going to even. We're talking about girls that fight Cyborg.
Cyborg's not going to lose.
But
for a long
Cyborg is on some other level shit though. So
Yeah, but I'm saying that this.
Like, if
this,
she fought
this is
dudes, she
not,
would give
this,
them a
this-
problem.
This main event right now.
But it's gonna make money though.
No, I don't think it will make that much
You
money.
don't think so?
I-
People like to. They want to
it's a
see
great fight
Cyborg.
card.
They love Holly.
They don't want to
Holm.
pay $60 to see Cyborg against Holly Holm when they know the fans kind of know like this is weird. Okay, the rest of the card is a good card. The Khabib versus Barboza. That's the fight.
I
that
think Khabib's gonna walk through.
walk through Barboza. Who's ever walked through Barboza?
Khabib is.
Okay, but who's ever done that?
Cerrone
Nobody.
didn't Cerrone?
No, Cerrone.
I don't think he fought
Didn't
Barboza.
Cerrone
Styles though.
jab
No.
him, take his
No,
back?
Who do you
on?
think? I think, huh?
I think
Cerrone beat him.
Wait a minute, hold up. So you don't think Khabib's a fucking monster, dude?
he's gonna beat him, but I think it's probably gonna be a lot of wrestling.
I don't know. I think Khabib, and that's another person. I go, why
I
hasn't
thought Cerrone
Khabib
finished
had
him
a
like
shot
in the
at
first
title?
round or something.
Edson Barboza. His record is 25 wins and 3 losses.
They got rear naked choke.
Mixed martial art record. He beat Dariush, who's a fucking beat. He beat Gilbert Melendez. He beat
Beast.
Pettis. He lost to Tony Ferguson by Doris. He was winning that fight, and then he got caught. He beat Paul Felder. He lost to Michael Johnson, and he lost to Donald Cerrone. Rear naked choke. You're right.
He jabbed him. He fell back. And then
But that
Cerrone
was in
spun
April
behind.
of 2014. So that was still
saying.
3.5 years ago.
Yeah, I just wonder how good his ground game is because if Khabib gets you on the ground, you're not getting up.
Because Khabib seems like one of those people, like, he has some kind of, like, he's like an X-Men. Like, he just, as soon as he gets you down, it's like, oh, shit.
Wrestling them
He
bears.
turns into some other shit, man.
He has gorilla strength. He's
Like
got
he's-
amazing.
oh yeah, he said that earlier when we weren't on it. He said to some of the he said that to some
the
of the
guys from Dagestan, they have gorilla
he
strength.
said gorilla strength. Like
It's-
if they grab you, it's all.
It's a wrap. But the only thing is that the Khabib striking is not that good. At least Michael Johnson was tearing him apart on the feet. Barboza striking is excellent.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
Khabib's gotta get it down
but
early,
Barboza
that's for
doesn't
sure.
have I don't think he has that super duper knockout strength power, but when he has that pinpoint. And that you're hit over and over and over again. There's some people I think that like they just can come in and knock your block off, and there's other people that just they get that pinpoint, just sharp striking that you can't do nothing about. That's it.
But sometimes that's what causes the knockout, that precision, and I mean, no one looked at Anderson Silva and thought,
because
he's
physically,
gonna knock your head through the,
And
but
he
it's
will
like
do
perfect
shit.
striking, and it would just with that leverage, and
Like,
you just
to
go
me,
sleep.
like, they
hold
were-
on, hello, Deanna, what's up? It's Adam.
Like
I'm trying to call you back on Skype. You're not picking up.
It just dropped out.
Oh, so we're trying to call you back right now. Hang up the phone? Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. The reason
so
when you say like,
how does she not have a boyfriend? The chick's hot. She can fight.
how does she not have a boyfriend?
Yeah,
Maybe
who's
she's in between. Like I've been in. Well, you've been. You're married. We're like. We're on lock, but then some people are just
But
like.
this girl's like, I don't know. She seems like a cool chick. A cool.
Yeah,
chick.
like somebody. Yeah, but yeah, her ex uppercutted her. that's just some shit on your resume.
Wait, so what is that? You're blaming her for her ex uppercutting her?
She should have blocked it.
Oh, come on. I can see if he head kicked her. I mean, she's no, but like, come on.
You know what?
That would be.
And she fucking stayed with him too, which is crazy. Why?
She must have really dug him. He must have something else because after you uppercut me unconscious, relationship's over.
Yeah,
I don't care. I don't care if you're the best woman in the world.
All right, I'm gonna try to put her in here. I'm gonna have.
Is it working?
It's not working. I'm gonna have to put a microphone up to this.
No, like.
No, she's not. It's not. She's not picking up on the Skype. So, all right, here we go.
Here it
see
is.
If this works. Well, we'll see if this works. I had to get an adapter. Is this not gonna? Hey, DeAnna Bennett.
Yes.
Is it gonna record it on this?
It's gonna be shitty, but yeah.
Oh, so okay, all right. Some reason like the Skype wasn't going through. Okay, so
I hope it's not me.
no. So
No, that's cool.
It's always you. All right. So we were talking about how first of all we're talking about how come you don't have a boyfriend? You're hot. You got
a great attitude.
Great attitude. You got a great body. You could fight. You're an EMT. Okay, on your free time. What's going on? What's going on here?
If I had the answer to that, I would surely fix it, but I have no idea.
Are you on Tinder or Bumble or any of these apps?
Oh yeah, that like frightens me. That's some serious stranger danger right
Yeah, that's creepy.
So no.
I don't know about that. I don't know about random strangers.
Okay, so when guys take you out, right? Let's say me and you are on a date. It's going well. I'm making you laugh. Ha ha ha. Okay, we go back to your place. And I try to make a move, right? I'm like, all right, now it's my time. We're watching Netflix, Punisher. I got my hand over you.
Specifically Punisher.
Yep, I love Punisher.
Yeah, I love Punisher.
I got my hand over you, and I go for a kiss. Right? Are you the kind of girl that's like, hey, not so fast, bozo? It's only the first date, or are you like you down for the kiss?
It depends on the moment. I mean, everything sounds perfect.
Did you say
there,
bozo?
The Punisher and whatnot.
Yes.
But, it depends on the person. I would never be opposed to it.
All right. So I'm okay. So are you putting out too fast, or are you having sex? All right. So
Definitely not.
okay. So you're like more of like a third date kind of thing, like first date kiss.
It depends on the guy. Don't you think it depends on if like
the
some
guy.
guys could make a woman right off the bat and some can't. It could be the guy if he has a swagger and play, he can get it.
But I'm wondering why she's single. I mean,
Because she's hot. Yeah.
I mean, she's putting out. She's a good-looking girl. How old are you? 23, 24?
Oh gosh, no, I'm much older than that.
So you're 30?
Yes.
All right, so you're in your sexual prime. I don't know what it is. Let me think. You know what? I'll ask your teammates why they think you're single, and then we'll.
Maybe she's busy.
Yeah, people around me, I don't know.
Maybe she's busy.
I have no idea.
Ah.
I mean, hey, if anyone else out there listening wants to pick me up, by all means, hit me up. But I don't know.
You're gonna get a
You're gonna get a shitload of Twitters.
You could do a contest, win a date.
yes.
Yep.
MMA roasteds, win a date.
Yeah. Just don't send her dick pics. I can tell you probably hate dick pics, right?
For the love of everything, do not send me
Yeah,
any
like-
pic. I have never been like, hey, what would just perk up my day today? Some random dude's penis.
And now how many guys are sending you these dick pics?
I've had more than I can count, and every single
crazy.
time I die a little inside, like, no, no.
That to me, I know people do that. I just can't get my mind around like, yeah, let me send a picture of my cock.
I don't understand.
I just can't.
wish somebody would explain it to me.
It's just
See,
not.
I'm old fashioned. I only do it via mail.
Yeah,
you actually send the actual.
An actual
send the
photo.
picture.
Yeah, 'cause
Polaroid.
that takes effort.
Yeah.
Nice. I actually sign it.
Sign it exactly.
See, because you're classy.
I'm a class guy.
You're
I'm
a class
classy guy.
act. That's why.
I had a girl one time. She gave me a blowjob. We're all adults here. And the next morning, she left me her headshot saying "Thanks for the good time" and signed it. And I was like, "What are you, a fucking superhero?" Like,
You should put it up like a restaurant. You should do that with all.
That is one of the weirdest shit I've ever heard.
I'm not gonna tell you. I actually actually kept it though. I'm not gonna lie.
Why did you keep?
I finally threw it out when I got married. I'm like, I can't keep this in my apartment. But
man, that's too good.
Damn, but that means you really got it going on that you can get somebody to give you a signed headshot.
And then she put her nickname in it too. Like
Wow.
her fucking nickname was in it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. It was a professional athlete. So anyway, so DeAnna, guys are guys ever like, hey, how's it going? You're really pretty. You're like, oh, thank you, smiley face. And then the dick pic comes. You're like, really? Like I was giving this guy a chance, and all of a sudden.
I guess it makes a woman like you at first, and then you do that, and they go, "Oh, fuck, you ruined it."
Yeah, who would like? Yeah, that's crazy.
Wouldn't you say that would ruin it completely, no matter how handsome or good, if he was good looking and smart and wealthy and whatever? Wouldn't that make you go, "Oh, you ruined all of it"? I was going to
100%.
Yeah, I was.
I don't care who the person is. If I was just like, hey, just talking light chat, and then like 5 minutes into talking, it's like penis. I'm like, that is really aggressive. I don't like the way that that's looking at me, so I'm probably not going to talk to you anymore.
Yeah, guys, stop sending dick pics. But ladies, if you want to send twat pics, my email is no. So also, all right. So let's talk about you unfairly getting cut. This is complete bullshit, okay? Because you showed heart. You've beaten great girls. You beat Juliana Pena. You beat Colleen Schneider.
Which is a big deal.
You beat Jennifer Maya. Even your losses were to Jodie Escobar, who's in the UFC. Souza, she's in the UFC also, right?
Yep.
And then Roxanne, who's in the UFC.
And is Sahara? Is she in the?
Sahara's in the UFC also. So you've only
but
lost.
she missed weight.
Damn title.
Yeah, she missed weight though.
So you've only lost to 4 girls in the
That
UFC,
fucking would've-
and you've beaten girls that are in the UFC. Like,
a big girl.
this is complete bullshit.
Yeah, that's kind of my thinking, but I mean, all I can do is go get some wins outside and make my way back. I'm not gonna lie, it dug down deep inside, and I found some solace in a bottle of tequila. That's my jam right there. But I mean, I got right back in the gym and do what I can. I'm like, is it because I touched Dana White's face at weigh-ins? Is that where this came from? Like,
Is that what happened, really?
did I offend?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because you only touched his face.
Yeah, really.
Oh wow!
I didn't say that.
Problem.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did say that,
Andrew, what do you Andrew is our resident MMA guy here at
What up,
Pluto
DeAnna?
TV. What are your thoughts about this?
On her getting cut?
Yeah.
I don't like people getting cut after draws, especially. I can kind of see where they're coming from after the Ultimate Fighter and based on her previous fights in Invicta to cut her. But I think she has an opening right back into the UFC, get 2 wins right back into the UFC. Because I definitely think people will be like, hey, she's lost these fights, had a draw. Why is she in when I've... Because there's a lot of people getting cut for less and stuff. So
Bullshit.
I think she should be in. I think she should be in, but... I can see
females aren't getting cut for less. I hate to say it.
Especially in this division. I mean, it's like they need everybody
that's a
they
brand
can.
new. It's a brand new division. Yeah, keep as many people in there to create contenders.
She's a legitimate tough.
She's a threat for the belt.
She's not a fucking girl that you're like, okay, she has a lot to work on.
I'm just playing devil's advocate from their side. I'm not saying she should be cut. I'm not saying she should be cut or anything. I'm just saying from the business standpoint.
But if she gets 2 more fights, if you win 2 more fights,
right back in.
I'm telling you, it'll be like, okay, wow, she's showing us something. Bam.
Yeah, but she
and then
shouldn't
right back.
have to win 2 more fights. She won her.
She
first.
shouldn't have to, but
that's the way it is, though.
But
dude.
if she only has to win
not the
2
way it
fights
is
to be
for
back
other
in the
fighters,
UFC,
though.
that's pretty good.
You don't
some
think so?
people.
No, there are other fighters that they're fucking keeping in with 2 losses, 3 losses. If she was from Australia, she could have 9 fucking losses and they keep her in there.
Well, if you were if you were from Hungary or some shit.
The girl who beat her is from Hungary and she's in there, and she lost every minute of the fucking fight except for the one Hail Mary head kick that she beat because DeAnna has ADHD and the fucking bell rang and she thought that fucking it was school starter.
But you know how it is. If again, I think you're right. Two fights, and she looks good in those fights. They'll be like, you know what? We got to have her right back.
I think it's just because the way it looks on paper. That's all. That's literally what they're doing.
But
I don't know.
But they do that. But what Adam made the best point. It's like it seems like they want people from other countries because they look down the line and go, well, we could do an event.
100%, and that's
country.
bullshit because you turn on the event, you see fucking 9 people from China that fucking all suck, and then they gotta find, or not all suck, but a lot of them suck. Then they gotta find people for them to beat. So now they got to go through the fucking well of people to even make it even an even fight, and they want the Chinese people to win. Last week in Canada, you notice that like 4 to 5 Winnipeg people won, Canadians won because they found like they matched striker versus striker.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden now you have double the amount of people that shouldn't be in the UFC because you want to sell tickets. And
you make the argument like it's fair, though. It's never been fair.
I know, dude.
No, life
It's
isn't
not
fair, but this fucking chick is hot. And,
there it is.
and no, she's but she's a fucking.
You need Adam.
No,
Adam
no.
definitely should be.
No, I've been a fan of this girl before.
she's hot.
No,
Before she was hot.
No, before she lost the fight, I was a fucking fan of her. But she was 8-0 and she was killing bitches.
Yeah.
Right. I was a fan of DeAnna Bennett because she was a fat girl. Okay, who you started doing MMA because you were fat.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Yes. How much did you weigh?
I topped out at 190 at my heaviest.
190. This chick, and
she worked her ass off.
Literally worked her ass off.
That's
Her ass is
amazing.
gone. Yeah. And now,
But there's a lot of fighters that have gone through that shit and came. Rumble went.
You gotta leave and come back. He went to World Series of Fighting.
Rumble lost because he was fucking missing weight 7
I know,
times.
but what I'm saying is, but he went away,
It's-
and you can come back.
Yeah,
of
it's
course
not
you can
a
come back.
And
No,
that
when-
motherfucker came
career's
back and
not
started
over.
knocking
I
people's
understand she
head, like you
lost,
said, in the orbit.
But it was a
That's
fucking
hilarious.
draw. It was a
Orbit.
draw. She lost. It wasn't a loss. It was a fucking draw.
It was a draw.
And she showed heart in it. I mean, she showed fucking so much. She was out on her fucking feet, came back and won the next 2 rounds.
But again, does he keep doing it? You keep talking like it's some fair shit, dude.
Yeah, that's why it's
not
not
like-
fair.
no, it-
Because
not-
I do that because there's a world that I want to live in, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It's just
you
not.
want it to be fair.
So if I don't know,
I just want hot chicks.
We won that fucking
I'm
fight.
not going to.
And it's still
no,
it's
that's not
bullshit.
true. I'm not.
No, it is
but
true.
I'm not
It is
going
totally
to
true.
accept people's bullshit. I have to call it like it is. This chick shouldn't be cut.
But
I agree.
like you
Fucking-
said, if you already seen the pattern with
I
UFC,
agree.
and the people know I'm talking. If you see someone from another country, they'll push them harder. They'll give them more press. They'll give them more.
Yeah, aren't you from Argentina?
I was gonna say,
No,
well,
yeah.
you
My
just
mom's from there. I'm from California.
Just go move to
Fucking
go move
say
to
you're
another
from
country.
Argentina.
No, yeah. If you
Just go move to
so you see that
Mongolia for a
pattern,
couple
right?
years.
Yeah.
Adam, you see that pattern all over the place.
No, of course.
So they're gonna keep
I see
following
I
that
see it
pattern.
with fucking comedy. Diversity showcase. Fucking this. But we
What
gotta
about
have-
funny?
I see it all I see it everywhere. But I just think that you're killing your product. Okay, by having UFC Poland, and there's 8 people from Poland, and one guy's 11 and 10.
But the people in Poland, but you're looking at it wrong.
Yeah.
The people in Poland think this is the best shit ever.
because the Polish
And
people
then
aren't
and the
known-
rating. Oh God, that is so
You
wrong.
gotta put
You're gonna
local
get your
guys
ass.
on
Some
a
Polish
local
dude's gonna
fight.
walk up and elbow you in the eye.
Oh, well, yeah, but I think it's my nose.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
Poland.
because- yeah,
okay,
he'll
okay.
definitely-
No, look. The point is, this chick, DeAnna, you need to get laid. Honestly, when was
Jeez.
the
The point of the story is.
You know, let's go all the way back to your vagina. Let's get some way we gotta get back to
I don't
your
know why
vagina.
we started talking about fights. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Like,
yeah,
let's get back to the
all right,
issues.
so here you are. You're living in New Jersey now. When you were in Utah, did the Mormons try to convert you?
Oh yeah. Well, I grew up being Mormon, and then I decided to not be because
Because it's bullshit.
that's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Because
it's bullshit. Is that one? No.
It's
the gas. I'm throwing it out there.
To get me to come back, and I was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah. Now, were your parents pissed?
My mom definitely was. My dad kind of found his way away from it too, but my mom, it's still a source of disagreement there. So,
Wait, she's an Argentinian Mormon?
yeah, she grew up super Catholic, and then she converted and became Mormon.
weird.
So yeah, like the best of both worlds, right there.
The worst
so,
of both worlds.
But your dad, you said your dad, he kind of sided with you and kind of saw where you were coming from.
Oh yeah. No, he was totally reasonable when it came to that.
Oh,
I want to know.
That's cool.
I want to know how you get converted to Mormonism. That's like, yeah, Catholicism is one thing.
The Osmonds did it.
Yeah, it's like, but you know what? This whole charlatan finding golden things and forgetting where he buried them, that makes a lot of sense to me. I'm being converted. I don't know. I've never
Yeah,
heard
how did
of
that
anybody.
happen?
I'm gonna go with that whole spaceship
Grew up
thing.
in it,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's how I was in it. So.
But now,
That's
but
not my fault. They're my parents.
Next up, Scientology.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm more into the Scientology thing.
Yeah.
Than
No, you're not.
If I want to religion about aliens,
you changed up like no.
But I'm
not
more
really.
into it than Mormonism.
The Mormons came to my show. They're the weirdest. I mean, no offense, but like, it's insane. I like there's no alcohol. know this. But then at the end, they were literally doing somersaults, these college kids, to like get high. I'm like, you guys need to
But do they laugh? Because I did a showcase in Utah once.
They got offended by everything. They got first joke in. They don't even go ooh. They just don't fucking react. It's like, at least give me an ooh. You know, like I actually was hoping I would get a groan. That's how fucking bad it was.
Wow. Because I did the NACA Utah showcase.
I did NACA Utah.
I did that one. And it was,
dude, they booked, one of them booked me before the show, saw my act, and unbooked me.
Yeah,
I was better off not going on.
Yeah. I didn't even know why I went there.
The same thing happened to me.
But the thing is, at least you got your dad. Like, if both my parents were against something, at least if my pops would have came through, I'd have been like, okay, I'm cool. So I know you probably felt like, well, at least my dad gets where I'm coming from, right?
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Yeah, so I mean,
it made it so much better.
Yeah.
So did your parents split? Did your dad move to Hemet? That's where she grew up.
For real?
Yeah, you grew up in like Hemet, right?
He moved to Michigan.
Okay, yeah. I was like, Hemet is horrible.
Where in Michigan? Somewhere in Michigan.
Oh, your dad? So you don't know your dad?
Oh, no, I know my dad.
Oh, okay.
Your mom.
When my parents split up, my dad moved to Michigan and my mom moved to Utah.
But
which is another one of the reasons why I moved out of Utah.
But how did you? I read somewhere that you grew up in Hemet.
I grew up in Fremont, California, in the Bay Area.
Fremont. Got it. Fremont. Yeah.
That's why when you said Hemet, I went,
I was like,
Hemet, the meth capital?
No, I like Northern California. Northern California.
Cool.
My wife's from Fresno, so
Nice.
So I'm all about it. All right, so we're looking for right now. We're looking for an organization. We're looking for a boyfriend. What else are we looking for?
I mean, you can't ask for too much. I'll take those two.
All right,
Works.
good. I like it. I like
sole
it.
custody of her dog.
Sole custody. That's the most important one.
There you go.
Well, listen, DeAnna, I'm a huge fan. Nothing but respect and love for you, and keep up the good work.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate y'all talking to me today.
Oh, no, cool.
It was our pleasure. Take care.
All right, have a good day.
Bye.
I want to say, like every time I've done the show, Adam gets like, both of us do, but he gets so passionate. It's like, I'm just tired of the bullshit. Like you can see it in you. Like
no, that is
this
bullshit.
I know, but what I'm saying is,
you can cut after
there's certain shit you got to admit. Like, especially with the UFC, because I've seen, like you said, the rankings where I go, how the fuck did he make that leap to get the title shot? But there's some people that go, because marketing-wise, they are better. McGregor got a lot of fucking shots that he shouldn't have right off the bat.
Yeah, but the problem here's the problem.
He backed it up, though.
But here's the problem. They're not marketing people right. Okay.
You don't think so?
No.
Oh, come on, man.
I had a kid named Jared Gordon last week on the show, right?
Yep, 2-0 in the UFC.
He's 14-1 in MMA, 2 in the UFC. He had 10 stints in rehab. He was a heroin addict. He was a cocaine addict. He was shooting cocaine. Just fucking pronounced dead. Now he got his whole fucking life together. Like, but no one would ever know that. You know how I knew that? Because he tweeted out. I thanks to UFC for I'm now not broke anymore because of cocaine era. But I should know that about him. Okay, not saying that like.
So you don't think they're doing the backstories enough?
No,
there's 100 lightweight fighters in the UFC though.
But but if you watch a lot of the UFC,
but there's
when they do the I watched a couple of the documentary. Even I just knew stuff about Lamas that got. I didn't like. They talk about his family, talk about the fact he's Cuban, and
Yeah, maybe there's like in the
like that kind of shit.
A few of them they do, and then the ones coming up, you have to have that look. Like you have to look like
you got to have a look. It's
but you
more
don't need
of a
it. But whoever's doing it, like okay, Stipe Miocic is the world champion heavyweight,
and they don't push him enough.
He tweeted out yesterday, "Just doing my job as a fireman." Like to me, that's like okay, you're the world champion, and he has to like everyone in the fucking who is any sports fan should know that the champion of the world is a fireman because that to me is this guy's saving lives.
But he's not,
and he's a badass. Okay, but okay, well then.
Well, also, you shouldn't have to be still be. You never saw like you never see Tom Brady like got to go to my second job today.
I think that's by choice. But yeah, there are ways to do it. There are ways to do it.
You mean the ways to market? Because I think he's the shit. And
right,
I watched some stuff, footage. I've seen some documentaries on him, and I think he's the greatest.
Right, but they got 5 million people. They got 5 million people that follow them on Twitter. Okay, Dana has another 6 million. If they put a little 3-minute fucking segment about, hey, lonely,
they did do that. Cormier did an interview with him. They did a whole segment.
But I'm saying, but there's a shitload of guys out there
that
have amazing stories. I mean, just the most amazing stories.
Well,
okay?
that's where we come in with this type of stuff.
Yeah,
You
we
gotta,
come in,
you know?
but we shouldn't be up to us.
Remember the early UFCs though? Before when he's a master in Shirinjiru karate, and then he'd be like hitting blocks of concrete or something,
Yeah.
like Harold Howard, and he'd do the come on or whatever. They don't do that.
But even
they
that
go
was
back to that
better.
cheesy shit.
But no,
back then.
I
even
think they
that
do.
was better.
They do show some of the backstory of some people.
Not enough, man.
Not enough. Of course, not enough.
Even like fucking Vince Pichel, my buddy. He's like 9-1, and he's a fucking part-time or even full-time electrician. But like even that, like you get the union workers would get behind him.
They
I mean,
could
They
do a-
would be-
should
yeah,
do a
you're right,
series
you're right,
on either,
you're right.
on either Fight Pass or on Fox Sports. They could do a series that's like a half an hour profile of up and coming fighters. That would be
That would be
nothing
awesome.
for them to
And
do.
I know-
and you could learn all about these up and coming
Fans
fighters.
would watch the shit out of that.
but
yes.
but put it out on
I
put it
think-
out on Instagram. Put it
But,
on,
okay,
on Facebook. They
and
have
I'm-
6 million followers.
And I'm not just saying it because you're here. I'm just saying I personally would like to see more stuff about the trainers, because every single fucking fighter that I see, when you see them and they're being honest, they're like, I couldn't have did this shit without you, without you, without you, without you. So I want to see those people more too, but they don't show them enough. They fucking, like, you don't see a lot of interviews with them, and they're the reason that person got there.
Yeah.
That person wouldn't even be there without them. Like, because even when they're down, you see a trainer that comes in and is like in their ass and makes them get back up and do their thing. The only one I seen them do it was for GSP, because they would really show a lot of
Faraz, yeah.
Yeah, but they don't do it for a lot of people.
Well, the thing though is people have a misconception. Like I hear it all the time where it's like, oh, you got to go to these big camps, and I've been to pretty much most camps, and I'm like, they don't have secret techniques. There's nothing special. In fact, a lot of times I go to like big name camps, and I'm like, that guy kind of doesn't. I wouldn't trust that guy to do whatever he's doing.
Right.
I'm not going to name names, but there's been those times where I'm like, this is one of the
This is the
camps in
greatest
world.
camp, right.
But I get it. You've got great training partners and the facility and all that stuff. But it would be good to see what people are doing. And
But-
the other thing is, people
yeah.
you see those countdown shows, and they tell you to do that. Okay, go over there and hit pads and do this. All right, go do the battle ropes and whatever. And I get people come in and they go, well, how come I don't do that? I'm like, nobody does that. That's what they do for TV. They
It's
don't have a guy
television.
who every day is doing like your little box jumps, and they don't have, no fighters don't have that. They do that on their own and they get work. But it's like, that's for TV, dude. That's not really when.
Well,
when
look,
people-
let me ask you this. We'll go back. I know you got stuff. Camp-wise, other than publicity, who's the best camp? Would you say everybody says, like if you had a vote, they say this camp, not just bringing out champions, because you got to count that
So
too.
look at that. There's a lot of places that have tons of champions, but have they brought anybody from zero up? A
They
lot of
usually
guys
get people that
at
are
my
already
level,
good.
Not
Yeah.
saying me, but they get. I've brought guys from zero, tons of guys to the highest level, and then they go, I got to go somewhere else, and they go somewhere else and lose, but or they do
Yeah.
okay. But I'm like, how many of those big names?
I mean, it used to
Jackson's,
be
I'd say.
AKA
Jackson's
though.
broke.
AKA
back in the day.
The problem is
was
that
the
everyone
one.
kept getting injured there. It became like a,
Right.
you know.
Well, I think a lot of times they haven't changed. I feel like a lot of the camps still doing weight cutting and strength and conditioning from 20 years ago. They may have evolved some of their other game, but I see a lot of them still doing the same thing, and that's why you get these big camps that still have people who don't cut weight properly. People get injured a lot because they're still using 1980s and 90s, strength and conditioning stuff, where the rest of their game is good. But AKA, they're notorious. Those guys were great way back in the day, when they had the Camarillos teaching jiu-jitsu and Crazy Bob
Right.
Cook. And I mean, those guys were great. And I think Greg Jackson, he's brought guys from zero up.
Right.
Who?
Diego Sanchez, he brought in Keith Jardine, like all those guys back in the day.
Yeah.
Because I used to go train there when I did comedy. I used to do two weeks a year in Albuquerque in the
Right.
90s. And that was the only grappling school, because I was doing jiu-jitsu and I wanted a place to train. And it's like Jackson's Gaido Jiu-Jitsu or something. And I'm like, hey, can I come in and roll? And I would give them free passes, and the whole team would come and
that's
watch
dope.
my
Yeah,
shows.
that's cool.
And so I knew Greg way before MMA was MMA, before he was remotely known. And I had a lot of talks with him, and the dude is really smart, and he really knows what he's doing. And now they've got, I don't even know how much he even does anymore. I don't even know if he's even involved these days, but
Seems
he,
like
he knows
yeah.
what he's doing.
I mean, he knows what he's doing.
He's smart.
Yeah, totally smart. So let's talk about Julian Marquez, a guy that came to my show in Kansas City, brought his whole family.
Really?
His
That's
Cuban,
dope.
and he won his fight. He was a good fight. He fought the dentist. against Darren Stewart. It was a back and forth battle. And Marquez is a nice guy. I thought they brought him in to lose in the contender against John Jones's boy.
Right.
He knocked him out with a head kick that was awesome. And now he called out Woodley to shave his beard. That was hilarious.
I saw that. They have a beard off.
And he's a nice guy, super nice guy. Josh Emmett. I did not see that coming. I mean, because I was doing
I want
MMA.
to talk about that for sure.
I was doing MMA math, and I'm like, well, Emmett lost to Desmond Green. Ricardo Lamas has only lost to the best guys. No offense to Desmond Green, but I just thought he wasn't at the level of. And fuck, man, that left hook
Cracked him.
I think it was just I was so sad about that. I just was like, oh my god, because I was shooting for Lamas. I wanted him to win, but I think it was just one of those weird because it was just one of those weird. I missed by that much, and
was it weird? I mean, he lost to his 3 teammates though. Chad Mendez beat him, Castillo beat him, or 2 teammates. They probably told him, listen, this is how to beat this guy.
Right. Punch him as hard as you can in the freaking jaw. Like,
No, I'm saying, but have you seen a fight
right in the chin? It's like
have you seen a
overlooked.
fight where you go, oh, he just got caught? You got it, and that I looked at that like he just got caught. It wasn't like, oh, you did something amazing. No, he just
he was
Right
right.
crack though, because Emmett, a guy that I train that I don't train anymore, Christos Siagos. Christos got cut from the UFC, and his first fight outside the UFC was against Josh Emmett.
Oh wow!
And it was really back and forth. He dropped Josh. I thought it was finished, and I didn't coach him for that fight, but Emmett knocked him out in the 3rd round. And I've never seen Christos I've seen him get rocked a little bit, but he got knocked out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this kid must crack. And that was his next fight. Then that's what the fight that got him in the UFC.
Well, no, this is going after this fight. They're going to push the shit out of you.
Well, yeah. What happens because you have an unranked guy Emmett beating the number 3 ranked guy. Like, what happens with the rankings?
Does he become number 3 now, or does he just
he
can't.
He dropped to 7, but guess what? So, they're going to push the shit
But
out
he
of
also
him.
missed weight though.
Is
right?
Lamas
By
still-
how much?
He missed weight.
Is Lamas still ranked above Emmett?
He should be at 55,
No,
right?
no.
He should still be probably. You can't have a 15 guy beat 3 and then move the 15 guy to like 12 and then number 3 to 13.
It was an upset,
It's
and
like
they
because
liked
he's
the
beaten
upset.
all those guys. He's beaten all the guys
Right.
in the top 10. So it's
I don't know
tough
how
to put a
that
guy.
ranking works.
That's why they try not to do those fights. Those unranked guys versus top 5.
Well, but I don't think Emmett should. That was at 40. I didn't know that was at 40. I knew he missed weight, and then someone told me it was at 145.
48 and a half
That
or
dude
something.
is huge. He's huge for 55. I help these guys that are always trying to. They're like, if I just cut off some toe, I can maybe make 35. Dude, just stick where you're at. You're fine. Like, why would he go to 45 and
Well,
go
I
back
think
to
if a guy
55,
misses
dude?
weight by 3 pounds, the
He's
other
huge.
person should not have to fight him, and you should get the full fight purse. Okay? Because people are like, well, I want to fight because I don't want to just no. You miss weight by 3 pounds. You have the option. You can fight the guy, or you could get the money and not
And then
fight
be
him.
like,
and
I'll
new
fight
rankings
somebody
are
else.
out. Emmett's 5, Lamas is 6. He just jumped from unranked to number 5.
Because they're pushing him.
No, they're not pushing.
Wait,
Well, they have
he
to push him
After now, because he got an upset.
But hey,
Yeah.
that's
That's a
That's
big
what I
win.
mean.
It was
I don't mean they were
dominant
pushing
upset,
him.
though. Like, but it's weird. Like you think about those kind of like how does that work? You just take the plate like a month ago. Pedro Munoz fought Rob Font, and it was number 12 and number 13, and Font had never been finished, and Pedro finished him quickly. And it's like, so what, does he just jump to number 12 or 11 now? Like, it's like one little
you
tiny
just swap.
thing?
Yeah, I mean,
it's like in this game, he gets to jump to number 5 from unranked. That's pretty.
that's
Yeah, and Desmond Green beat
Yeah.
Josh Emmett 3 fights ago, so it's like guys unranked. So,
well. How has Green done since? I think he lost. Right? Didn't he? I like Green. I was always a fan of Green, and since Titan FC.
he lost to Rustam Kabilov, which is a good fighter.
Like right
Yeah.
now, who would you say your favorite fighters are?
My favorite fighters.
Like I have 3. Like
Favorite or
people always
best?
say 1. Okay. Oh wow, that's true. Okay, that's
I mean,
true.
a lot of
favorite
fighters
is
are not the best right now.
like okay, so favorite fighter is not best, but
Frankie
like
Edgar is one of my favorite fighters.
like okay, that's a great choice. Frank.
I mean, that dude
My favorite
always.
is probably John Jones.
John-
Probably my favorite.
Are you serious?
Swear to God.
He's such a fuck up though.
Yeah, but he is a good
But fighting-wise-
fight, though.
Yeah,
Right.
but fighting
I
wise,
still like watching Anderson Silva fight. Like, I mean, he's maybe he's down.
he's 43 years old.
Yeah, I
They
know,
should have a
that's what I'm
boner
saying.
league,
I still love it.
like people who failed for dick pills.
Exactly.
Like they should have. Their
I
own-
like Connor.
Connor. Yeah, I mean,
No, he's not he's not my favorite, but I do like him talk shit. I know that's bad, but when he's entertaining as fuck to me.
I'll tell you
But
though,
I don't think he's the best fighter.
Now Jordan Mean beat Eric Silva. Talk about a guy who fell off. I mean, USADA beat fucking Eric Silva.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys.
He's having a slump like a.
Well, because you look at his body before the drug testing and after. It's like the opposite of before and after. You know how they go before and it's after before.
Right.
It's insane. But
Well, I think also with the guys like that, I mean, again, accusation. He's never. Has he tested positive? Positive. I don't know. But a lot of times, guys' confidence is built. Confidence is a huge thing. Like talking about Ronda Rousey. Like once that confidence is broken, some people their entire thing is built on their confidence. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if your confidence is built on, I've got superpowers and super strength, and you attribute a lot of that to whatever shit you're using. If that goes away, and you get tested in a fight, boom, you just drop off a
But
cliff.
it's the same thing with stand-up.
I see it. I see it all the time.
I see
it
people who's
all
super
the time.
confident and they have no skills whatsoever.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like comics that
Yeah.
I got all this swagger, walk up on stage, yeah, what's up? And then they
Well, you
jokes.
see a lot of comics with like tricks. Like they're really good at like tricking the crowd into thinking that they're telling jokes, but they're not really telling jokes.
They're doing cheerleading
They're
maneuvers.
cheerleading or like, hey man, how many ladies in the crowd? Any single people?
And then the crowd goes, ah!
Yeah. Or they get they get laughs on the curse versus like
Laughs
the
on the
actual
joke.
on the joke.
Right.
Or,
I told you I want to be that guy if I do comedy. The hype
Nice.
guy.
Yeah, the hype guy.
But a lot of the hype guys are the ones that are getting the shots right now.
Speaking of which, not hype guy. Speaking of which, a guy who's not a hype guy, unheralded comedian, guy right next to me, Ian Harris, shot a special.
We did a show. And I was like, man, I went online and man, you did your thing.
He shot a
and you
special.
do like intricate shit that like I go, how the fuck did he get a laugh off of that? Like, no, really, you really do. Like, I go, where the fuck did that come
That's like
from?
a backhanded. How the
No,
fuck
it's
did you get a
not-
laugh
no.
from that fucking
No.
bullshit?
No, because okay, no.
I
What
could've
I mean,
never done
not
well
like
with that
that. You
garbage.
know,
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
like you doing a Nostradamus like joke. Like if people go,
Keep digging.
and no, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like if you do a reference that
Tell
you go,
us, tell
now
us.
I know that reference, but how the fuck did he have a crowd know that reference? Because
Okay, that makes sense because his crowd is all atheists,
Science geeks and
angry.
nerds.
But like it's hard. Like,
Virgins.
if you write a joke, you've written jokes before where, well, I know you have. You've written jokes before you go, I don't know if they're going to get this
It happens all
Monty
the time.
Python
Especially
reference.
starting doing comedy in Times Square, no local references at all. And then you go to LA and you're like, yeah, I can get a laugh if I make fun of Glendale or Burbank, but if I go to Texas, the joke's fucking gone.
It just dies.
You know?
But- so to do a reference-
So speaking of which, okay, but
Yeah.
before that, so Ian shot a special. He got fucked over. He sold it to Netflix. They said they were going to buy it, and then the guy left. Then they weren't buying specials anymore.
Same shit with
Finally, Ian put out the special himself. You're like, fuck
Yes.
this. Amazon Prime bought it.
Yeah, well, it's we're doing the VOD thing right now. Amazon, iTunes, where you can pay per view it, and then in February it'll go to Amazon. February, March it'll go to Amazon Prime, and it'll go to a couple cable.
So how do okay? I
Same
want to
with
watch
me.
this special. How do
That's what I
I
do now.
how do I watch this special?
So if you go to Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, and you can rent it or buy it for now for a few months, and so if you just
2 months,
it's
yeah.
called Extraordinary, Ian Harris Extraordinary. So if you search it on iTunes or Amazon, it should pop right
Now,
up.
is it about religion or?
This one I went a lot more mainstream. So it's just my thing is I'm a skeptic. I'm like a science geek. So my whole thing is if it isn't proven by science, I make fun of it. That's kind of how I work. So this one, the first one, which you probably saw, the first
Yeah.
one is a lot more like like you said. How the fuck are they gonna get that? This one is a lot
Right.
more mainstream. And then at the end, I do impressions, which I haven't done in I hadn't done like 10, 15
Who do you do
years.
impressions of?
I can do impressions of pretty much anybody. But in this one, I do. I
Shang.
do like 15. I do, of course, Shang. I do an Adam Hunter impression.
Nice. Andrew.
You do it, Andrew.
let's see.
Andrew is awesome. I don't know if you've seen his Andrew.
I do like to do some obscure ones, and it's funny because
Now, who do you do for real? Like,
in this I do Dave Chappelle, I do Terrence Howard, I do
is Terrence
Okay, a
Howard-
lot of people don't know. Like I've seen
Is that-
two comics ever do Terrence Howard.
Is that you beating your girlfriend? Is that what happened?
exactly.
No, I'm serious. I've only seen two
it's,
ever.
It's funny when I did it. I taped the thing in Santa Cruz, and it's like white people are like, "Who's Terrence Howard?" And then I did it with Ty Barnett and I tour, and we did together, and we did it in Chicago, and it was like the crowd was like 90% black, and I got like a standing ovation.
So what's your Terrence
Yeah.
Howard? So you can do Terrence Howard now?
Oh man, you know, Terrence Howard, man, the way he talks,
Oh,
man.
God.
I'm like, hey, bitch,
He goes,
hey,
mine.
hey, man.
See,
Hey, man.
that's the part right there.
That's
From-
and then
from
what's
Hustle
your
and Flow.
And then what's your Chappelle?
Well, I'm sick and my voice keeps cracking, so I just actually had to do a show in San Diego, and I was like, "This is everybody with a cold," because I was doing somebody, and my voice like completely went. I was like, nothing came out, like I'm fucking Peter.
All right, so your excuses out of the way.
All right, excuse. Man, he is just excuses out of the way, man. This is my Dave Chappelle.
That's pretty good.
I used to open for Dave, and sometimes I would introduce Dave as Dave, and Dave would be like, "Man, I hate when he does that."
Did you really open for Dave? You did that?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
In the back in the day, in the punchlines, for some reason I would open for Dave a lot, and it would be like no MC. It would be me doing 30, and then Dave doing 9.5 hours on the first show, and sometimes it'd be like seriously, it'd be like 11:30, and the second show was supposed to start at 10, and he's still on stage going, "Man, what else is new?" And you're like, "Dave, get the fuck off the stage."
Yeah, he does those marathon. You know,
That is so
I
funny.
did shows with Dane Cook would do that. And,
Oh, yeah.
and like he got to the point where the management literally hated him
Of course.
because they're like,
that's
"Fuck, dude,
5
we
in the
gotta
morning.
drop the checks. What are you doing?" But I mean, to me, Chappelle, I think he feels like I earned it because I talked to him once about it, and he said, "Hey man, I've been doing this shit so long. I feel like if I want to stay up there for 2 hours, 3 hours, I'm doing it."
Well, this was before his TV show even. This is like early 2000.
But he still had a lot of played in.
Right.
I've known him for a long time, and I mean, that attitude to me is like, no, just do a short set, kill him, and then out.
Well, somebody told me that actually they were telling us about Chappelle before when he was first coming up. They went to the Punchline in San Francisco, and it was open mic night, and he showed up in a full Klan outfit. Right?
Yeah, I was there.
Was that you who told me that story?
It might have been. I've heard. He's done it apparently a couple times. Yeah, I guess he showed up to. He used to do show up and do like Klan comedy with no one knew it was Dave Chappelle.
And then he'd come there and he'd be like, did it again.
I've seen
like,
that thing.
he'd be like,
I
fuck
don't know
those, and he N words, and then all of a sudden you see like his like black hand, which was like, and he said it was the funniest shit they've ever seen in their entire life.
Yeah, apparently that was like. I heard that he did that a few times. That he went up on stage. Yeah, but you heard it as well.
Is that how he got that character, like the Clayton
Yeah.
Bigsby
That's
guy?
what I heard.
But no,
yeah.
but he was doing it from that. But actually, it's a bit from Paul Mooney. I don't know. A lot of people that don't know who Paul Mooney is, but Paul Mooney actually wrote a lot of the top bits that you've seen on Chappelle.
Yeah.
Was Paul Mooney and Neil Brennan.
Yeah, Paul Mooney's a very happy guy.
Neil Brennan's a great writer.
It's Neil Brennan, but it was Paul Mooney. That was a bit from Paul Mooney, and the other one was Charlie Murphy.
Oh, right.
God damn it.
Mr. Paul Mooney, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Paul
Mr. Paul
Mooney.
Mooney. Mr. Paul Mooney, white boy.
Mr. Paul Mooney, motherfucker.
He's a very happy guy.
But no, when Charlie Murphy, they said that he had a lot of input. So I mean, like to me, comedy wise, like Adam, we've been on the road and we've done shows together. It's weird watching comics that I go, that guy's fucking on point. And then I'll see something. That's just everybody's gonna give me shit. Then I watched Amy Schumer's special. No, for real, man. I watched it on Netflix. And I thought, what is the world upside down? It was fucking okay. I don't care. It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible. I mean, keep it real. Her Netflix joint was horrible. And then you look at somebody else, and go, man, fuck, is this good? Why don't?
But can I also be honest? And again, I mean, I get this is probably why places like Netflix hate me because I talk shit a lot. I don't mean to talk shit. I'm honest. Half the shit that they're putting up right now, even great comics, their specials aren't good because they're rushing them through. It's like, look, guys, I know that you like Eliza Schlesinger. She doesn't have 8 hours of material in 1 year. You don't. I like her.
You're right.
It's great. Bill Burr had done a special, and 6 months later they gave him another special.
Right.
George Carlin didn't do a special every fucking 6 months.
But Bill Burr can do it. The other
Bill
people
Burr-
can't.
Bill Burr's-
even Bill Burr's last one, he said
He
wasn't very
he
good.
didn't like because I just did a show with him.
Last one wasn't very good because it was rushed, and it's not that they're great comics. It's that give them a year or two to flesh out.
But you know what?
Also, you know, there's a lot of these comics also, like Eliza and them, Amy, like when they're preparing a special, like guys like Chappelle, Chris Rock, whatever, they're going to clubs and they're going up after really fucking hard comics,
Right.
and they're working their shit out.
Yeah.
Other comics are just doing their headlining shows, right? So people are just coming to see them. It's their audience, and shit's working. That really is like people are just kind of happy that like they're in the presence.
That they see them. I see what you're
So
saying.
they're not really kind of like
working their
going
shit.
to the fucking
Right.
gym.
Right.
They're not going to a tough gym. They're going to they're getting training partners that are basically being told to fucking lie down.
Right, exactly.
You know, and
Pauly Malignaggi.
and all of a sudden you're like it's a different thing. Now Shang, another guy who shot his own special.
Yeah.
And where can we see this special?
Amazon, same thing, same situation. Netflix, went to Netflix. Yeah, we're down. New guy came in from Montreal. They switched it around, and it got lost in the sauce. So I'm going with Amazon. No, that's the truth. Amazon.
Same exact thing.
Same shit. I'm going with Amazon Prime, and same thing. iTunes, Google Play.
Is it up there now?
It'll be February.
February,
and then, but I'm also going to do a month, January in demand, because their deal, the way they can do their deal is you can do it for a month and then you pull it and it can go on.
Now you put your own. I saw your special. It's fucking incredible.
Thank you.
And both the specials are incredible. Your special, like the way it's shot. I mean, that must have cost you how much out of pocket? 100,000?
No, not even close.
30?
No, 50.
50,000. $51,000 out of pocket.
Well, no, I had two investors.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good,
So
good.
my stuff, like, so it's split three ways. But the thing is, for me, I wanted it a certain way. And I know my first one I did before, I just told myself, I want to show, go back home. I wanted to go back home and do it in New York. The other one I did in Atlanta. And I just didn't get that same kind of energy. Like, New York has a certain, like, I know a lot of people think I'm talking shit about LA, but LA doesn't have that same energy a New York crowd does. And I just wanted to get that crowd. And to me, LA has great crowds, but when you go to New York and you hit them in their face with a joke, it's different.
Yeah.
To me. Like,
So you had that much production value, and I know your comedy. I know the level of energy you bring, and I know the level of comedy you bring. So you had to. So see, now it's making me a little on your misery. It's making me feel a little better because I was like, man, what is it about me that all these people hate? But it's crazy to see that the same exact thing happened.
Exact same.
Like I had a what basically essential a verbal deal with them from.
I had a verbal and an email.
Yeah.
I actually sent the email to people and they go, "Fuck, you got it." I'm like, "Yeah, I got it." But
then when that guy went, they were like, "Well, we're distancing
the one
ourselves
guy
from
left.
That guy."
And then
they said, "Oh, we're not buying stuff now. We're only doing originals." I'm like, "But that's not true." I said, "I go, okay, cool. Well, why don't you put your name on it as producer, and then it's an original." Oh, we don't do it that way.
And final question before we stop this co-misery podcast: did you ever bang Lisa Bonet back in the day?
No.
I
have a couple. I have a couple celebrity.
Back when you were doing Shang poetry, right?
When I was all earthy and shit.
And like you were in New York, you were on Off Broadway.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. They came to the show, and I thought I got a shot at her, but then Lenny Kravitz walked in, and I went, I probably won't be knocking this one down.
Yeah.
But I think that now, and you know why I became that way, because it's funny seeing people. That I'm meeting fighters now and like that. I'm doing Vegas right after you. I'm doing that right Vegas, and some of them come to the show, and people are like, "Yeah, man, when you used to do that shit," I'm like, "Yo, the dudes now compared to the dudes before, fighters now would absolutely walk through any of the fighters from before."
I don't know about that.
You know why? Because they've learned so many different elements. Before it'd be one technique, and now you got a wrestler that can fucking knock your head off, and he learns jiu-jitsu, and it's like it's just too much.
You can't really compare, because would the fighters from before have the same amount of training as now? Like you put Kevin Randleman in a gym now with in his prime with a good Greg Jackson's, it's almost like
phenomenal.
The perfect fighter in some ways.
Well, then I think you had the old stuff. You're talking the '90s.
I'm talking about,
but I
guys
hate it when
now
people say that. Like
the guys now are just monsters.
Fighting, like I hear this all the time, where people's like, 5 years ago. They're like, yeah, well, the sports passed that guy by. I'm like, really? He was in his prime 5 years ago. What incredible new advancements in fighting have happened in the last 5 years?
Okay,
like, it's
the reason I disagree with you on
I
that,
get 20 years ago when it was karate versus jiu-jitsu.
Right, but if you think about it just cardio-wise, if you think about just cardio and just techniques, the new there's the techniques.
But the guy, what's that guy's name? The bear, the guy fucking, the heavyweight.
The bear?
I mean, what's his name? Tom Erickson. Oh. You put Tom Erickson in any era.
He'd do it right.
And he would. No. Do you put him today? Tom Erickson. No. Matt Mitrione.
I know exactly.
Matt Mitrione tells me that Tom Erickson today. Mitrione and McCorkle told me Erickson today throws both of them around the gym like fucking little kids. Okay. And Matt Mitrione had a very. It just.
Okay. Well, let me ask you now. You know the guy that they want to heavyweight? He just knocked. literally knocked his head back.
Yeah, you're talking about Ngannou.
Ngannou, who's a fucking that was one of the craziest. Like,
Right, right.
it looked like
Scariest thing I ever saw.
I thought he was dead.
It looked like Friday with Debo. And,
yeah, it did. It like
yeah.
tink, when he fell out.
Right.
I'm saying like guys like that. I watched a footage of him training, and how scientific it is. How he the turn, the short. I mean, it's so much more complicated, and they got so much more advancements.
I think Prime Fedor knocks his head off.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is,
I don't know.
I guess from my perspective, all the stuff I see people that they say is new advancements and whatever. I feel like we've been doing that for like 15 years.
We don't know how good Ngannou is going to be.
Fedor,
I think Prime Mark Coleman beats any one of these guys.
When they got rid of headbutts.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Coleman would take him down. He would hurt him.
Prime Mark Coleman.
No. Wait a minute. But this dude, he showed.
Prime BJ Penn beats any one of these 55ers. Prime BJ Penn.
I agree with that.
Yeah, Prime BJ Penn.
I think BJ Penn. Something's wrong with him mentally, and I don't think he trains the way he does. I don't know if he's got some other kind of problems.
He gets tired. He gets old. I know, but I'm talking about Prime.
That dude. Technically, physically, dude.
There was like 3-4 years where he was unbeatable. There was like
his power is a
there was
lot.
like maybe 2 years.
But that guy would beat anyone now. That same guy would beat
Prime
anyone now.
Prime BJ. Yeah.
Prime BJ.
The BJ that walked through Matt Hughes would beat anybody right now.
Yeah.
And then
Walk
Prime
through
BJ. I mean,
Okay, that didn't fuck
back?
my head up. I didn't see that coming either. When I didn't. Matt Hughes.
I was at that
Hughes.
fight live.
Are you serious?
I was at that fight live, and I was
man.
like, and I remember my wife and I were there. We were there with all like BJ's cousins from Seattle and shit.
And the fucking Prime Sakuraba gives people fucking Prime Sakuraba still gives everyone problems. And the Gracie Killer back in it.
Dude, Sakuraba was the
But
shit.
you don't think that some of these young guys? I mean, athletically, they're just bananas.
I understand what you're saying, but but then you have to go in. Well, would those guys back in the day have the same training? Like if you put like we said, you take a guy like Kevin Jackson, okay, who lost in 30 seconds to Ken Shamrock or Frank Shamrock.
Frank Shamrock, 13 seconds.
In 13 seconds, right? But a prime Kevin Jackson, okay, in a real MMA camp with actually,
AKA or ATT or whatever,
fucks people up. I mean, just runs through people.
I don't know. I think a lot of these younger guys, athletically, are just off the charts.
So you have to think also the craziness factor of these guys knowing that they're not getting any fucking money and how tough those guys were.
There is something with the athleticism, but athleticism doesn't mean that you've got.
Now, I mean, the guys now.
There are crazy athletic guys, but
right.
You also have to have guys that are crazy athletic and hard workers and aren't afraid to get in there and do it. And there is something to be said about toughness and heart that trumps all that.
Josh
shit.
Barnett would tell me he would call people. He would go on the internet and be like, "Hey, you look tough. You live in my neighborhood. Let's meet at my local YMCA and fight in the weight room." And get and his first 20 fights were in YMCA weight rooms, which is him fighting people.
No, level of tough. Level of tough for the old school. I'd say that they were out of control. But I'm saying I've seen really level of tough guys.
Gary Goodrich
go against really technically sound, athletic guys and get just fucking.
But Gary Goodrich
destroyed.
Gary Goodrich was losing a fight. Okay, he took the guy's cup, moved it out of the way, grabbed his nuts. This is a fucking professional arm wrestler, and squeezed the guy's ball sack till he tapped, and he fucking won that way in Brazil. Renzo Gracie told me he got stabbed during a fight. He was against the cage, and somebody stabbed him
from outside the cage.
Yeah,
okay,
and he still won the fight. Okay, so let's.
One guy got his arm ripped off.
If he'd only knew Krav Maga. Sorry.
He got his arm ripped off. Decided after that, still armbarred the other guy.
By the way, I started taking Krav Maga because I got like 6 months free.
Right.
And we're practicing low kicks, right? Me and this kid, and it's. We're having no shin pads or anything. We're just basically doing low kicks real light.
Right.
This fucker starts going hard on my fucking leg, which I just had ACL surgery. I'm like, dude, ease up. And I could tell the guy felt tough. Then we went and grappling on the ground. And he was like, "Oh, I can't move. I can't. Well, you're really good." I'm like, because we were actually supposed to go half live. The guy said, but I hate when you're drilling with somebody
and they decide to go,
especially low kicks. We're just practicing technique. I mean, literally technique. And this fucker's
lighting you up.
Not lighting me up, but going hard. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, we're doing no.
What are you proving here?
No, we're not. We're not sparring. Right. We're not Have you ever come in that kind of
all the time, and some people I just think they don't even know what they're doing and they're off. I had a kid come in one time and I don't know why I let him roll this years ago, but he looked like he was kind of athletic and a little off. And I don't know if he had done something before, but not really much, and he was like, oh, taking an MMA class, like, with a bunch of amateurs and, just regular people. It wasn't like a team training kind of thing. So I let him, we did a class and I let him roll a little bit. I'm like, you comfortable? I'm like, he's like, yeah, I'll roll. So I'm just going to kind of go easy, kind of figure it out. And somebody caught him in something, like an arm bar, like a girl. And the dude picks her up and goes to and he wasn't like a big guy. Like he was smaller than me, but he was, probably 150 pounds, 140 pounds.
He was spiking the fucking
He's going to slam her on the head. And I was like, whoa, dude, what are you doing?
Andrew Montañez?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And he goes, what? I go, dude, you never fucking slam somebody. And he goes, oh, okay. I go, just, how do you not know that? Anyway, I go, but especially you're going to slam the. He goes, I'm sorry. I go, all right. So we switched. I go, you just roll with me from now on. So I caught him in a triangle. I was going really easy, just like, okay, now move out of here. Go. And I caught him in a triangle, and he picks me up to slam me. And I go, and I'm like, dude, I think he actually slammed me. I go, dude, what did I tell you? And he's like, oh, okay. So we kept rolling. I swear to you on my life, I caught him in another triangle, and he picks me up and just slams me. So I just held on and choked him unconscious. And then when he woke up, I kicked him out. I'm like, dude, what? 3 times. And it's he didn't get it. I'm like, what is wrong with this?
Did somebody come? I remember, this is old school. As a PKA, Frank Freeman. People used to come off the street. He used to invite people off the street. You really think you can take me? And we would be in class watching, and he would invite just the toughest dude off the street and just beat the shit out of him, just to show them.
Where is this, in New York?
No, in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh.
When I was going to school in Pittsburgh, and he would literally invite. It was his House of Champions, big gym, and I was like, I had just started, and I was so amazed that he was fighting street fighters, and I was like, that's the difference. Yeah. Like some people,
he would always come in.
But you were nice about it.
I got 10,000 street fights.
But
never
you were
lost.
nice about it. You let him
ass.
give 2 passes. Frank Freeman be like, nope.
That's a very dangerous game, though, letting anyone come off the street.
No, but I mean, you know what though?
We used to do that all the time.
Really?
About 4 times
in New York.
Yeah, this place, New Generation Karate. We used to do Wednesday night MMA, and anyone that wanted to come spar.
4 times I've seen him do that.
Anyone.
Did the instructor ever lose? Or?
Oh, people come and beat some people. Yeah.
Well, the times
I would fight guys.
But those weren't probably guys off the street. Those are guys who were coming because they knew it was MMA sparring.
Some guys literally would walk in. They'd be like, is this a gym? And I'm like, come and train. Let's come and grapple. And
we had a guy do that, and we would always do that. Just like, okay, sign a waiver.
Yeah.
And we had a guy go in, and he was like 30 seconds in, swinging like crazy, dying. And afterward, he called and was telling one of the guys that he's like, I'm going to do that again. That was bullshit. I can't believe you guys did that. He goes, y'all didn't give me no water. That's why I lost. Y'all didn't give me no water.
I was dehydrated. If I wasn't dehydrated, man, I would have kicked your ass.
Hilarious.
If I had more moisture.
I was in a boxing class, like a class at New York Sports Club, and this little black dude came in, and he comes in, and he's like, puts on his gloves, he goes, I want to fight you so bad. And starts fucking pushing, and we're like in a class. I'm like, what is wrong with this guy? And my instructor's like, you could fuck him up. But I was like, I'm not. What am I gonna chance this for? What do I have to prove at 12 o'clock on 53rd and 8th in a fucking boxing class?
But no, I was saying, like you said, when you see the difference, that made me realize the difference, because what I was doing, I was the guy with the gi. Like back in the day, that you are the last dragon,
right?
And I knew I could do a little bit, and I won a couple fights.
Timac?
Yeah, I was basically that guy until I ran into a guy that really knew his shit. And the only reason I got serious, and my dad made me get serious, because I got my ass kicked. He said, "You need to have a real class, not the shit you're doing in the fucking park, right? This shit where they doing it in the park." And I was like, "That's what made me serious." But I'm telling you, this dude Frank Freeman, and I don't know if he's still alive. This motherfucker would house people. He would just hit them with like a fucking kick in their kidney and go, that's what's happening. And he would literally talk to him while he's doing it. There
was a kid one time at 10th Line at Burbank when I was there, and this guy came up, this fucking jack dude was like, hey, can I roll with you guys? And the instructor was like, sure. Have you ever rolled before? He's like, I used to do NHB. and that's when you knew he was serious. Because like, if you even know what NHB is,
Vale Tudo.
yeah, and the dude,
serious.
he was doing simple arm triangles and just fucking people up quickly.
Right.
Like, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Key locks. And
yeah,
stuff.
he was doing
Just
key locks and arm triangles. I was like, whoa. He's like, yeah, I took a couple years off.
What's your
And I'm
name? Oleg Tokhtarov.
Okay then. All right. Well, you get out of here. But now let me ask you this, because I haven't done this show in a while. Do you think that the fighting, because Adam got mad, do you think that it's worse because of they bottom out? Because a lot of my friends because we go at it on Twitter. I talk shit on Twitter. And he says that they think the UFC is shit now.
I think you have way better. I think you have way better athletes now in MMA because you have all these college wrestlers that never had anything to do. Like, oh shit, where do I go?
But now football players that are like, junior college or Division II that are never going to be in the NFL.
One of the reasons I quit wrestling in college was like, where am I? I'm not making the Olympics.
Right.
Where am I going with this? If there was MMA as a thing, I definitely would have been like, you know what? Let me take a jiu-jitsu class. Let's see how I do. So it's a whole. You have all those people.
But you got really good wrestlers that are coming in though.
Oh, you have amazing. You have Ed Ruth. You have gold medalists. You don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't. You have fucking Henry Cejudo. Doing
Right.
it. I mean, you have guys. So yeah, I think that the quality of athlete is better.
Right.
I do think that the product is a little watered down because you have on any different channel you have like Saturday night I was watching, or Friday night you had Access TV fights, and then you had
And they're popular, but they're super.
Bellator.
And 2 UFCs back to back.
And 2
You're like,
UFCs.
But they're
you have
super popular, though.
It's popular, but it's hard for fans to keep up. Like,
Right.
I mean,
You think so?
Oh fuck yeah! I know.
Oh wait, man, because I know that I looked at some of the ratings on some of
Who's
those
the
shit.
champion right now at 135?
No, I don't know that.
Who's the 135 champion
For Access?
for the UFC?
Don't know.
That's my point. And you're a fan.
And I'm a fan. Yeah.
That's
TJ tells you.
1,000% my point.
Well, they don't put
correct.
but certain people I think don't get the same push because maybe
No,
they're
but
not
no,
as
but okay, who's
they
the
might not be as charismatic.
Okay,
or-
who's the champ at 155?
There's two.
Okay, he didn't. He didn't.
Sorry.
All right, who's the one? Who's the 205-pound champion?
I don't.
Okay, the point is, you're an MMA podcast. You know more than most, and you don't know that Cormier is the fucking champion. That is my point. Okay, a couple of years ago, everybody knew who the champions were. Okay, everyone knew that Anderson Silva was a champion.
I didn't know it was 205. I didn't. For some reason, I ran a blank on that.
Okay,
But
okay. Well, the point is that
you think it's too saturated, or
for me,
I mean,
It's a bit saturated.
for me,
you think
it's a little bit, but it doesn't bother me because that just gives opportunities for my
For me,
guys.
no. I don't think, because I love it and I'll watch it, and this is a show and we make a living on it or we make money on it and yada yada yada. But for the product, fuck yeah.
But I also think the mistake though, it's like I think we talked about this with social media stuff before, where people, it's the same kind of thing where the industry now thinks that, oh, you've got X amount of Twitter followers, therefore that's going to translate to 1 million views every night on your sitcom. It's like it's a completely different medium.
Yeah.
And I think where the UFC might be going wrong is, oh, we get X amount of views on these big pay-per-views. How come we're not getting the same views on our Fox Sports card at 9 a.m. from China? And it's like, guys, like, don't expect to get the same number. I mean, I don't think they do, but I've heard them say stuff like, oh, the ratings are really low. It was on 9 a.m. on Fight Pass. What do you expect? Like,
It was tape delay too.
Yeah, it's like,
I watched it live, but
let me ask you this:
brutal.
Don't you think that? I mean, my friends think it's shit now. Completely think it's shit now.
Could you answer your own question?
No, to me, not to me though. I actually like the fact is a different, other than the UFC, seeing different camps and different people come in that didn't get a shot at UFC, and maybe they will get a shot eventually on UFC. But a lot of those guys come out of nowhere, so you got to give them a shot at something.
No, I love
people
it because
who disinvicta, I'm going. They need that.
I love it because I love the sport, but I do think that
they got to get a shot.
But
from
you also
somewhere.
have to I mean, there's fucking like Andre Harrison is 17-0 right now, has a win over Lance Palmer, Cole Harbrack, Steven Seiler. He's not getting a fucking call. He's the PFL champion, right? Like, but he's not getting a call. But you know, fucking Wang Chung is, who's fucking 4-2 because he happens to be from Shanghai. You can't. But
it's business.
That doesn't happen in the NBA.
I am bummed that there are some.
You're right.
I am bummed that there are some people that I'm never gonna see. No, draw a blank. Who's the wrestler?
See, I just
Nate
draw a blank.
Askren. Ben Askren. Never gonna see Ben Askren fight against the highest level people.
Yeah,
like that really pisses me off.
Of course,
I'm never going to see Ben Askren fight. Like,
all right.
I think the business right now, I think the business side of it fucks over everything. I think it's the same with comedy, with music, with everything. But with fighting, that was the reason that I was a fan of UFC other than when I was doing PKA. I was like, okay, they're taking it to another level. And I was like, this is amazing. But to me, a lot of the fighters that fought because they just want to fight, you don't see as many of those.
Yeah.
Like that like I'm a fighter.
You'll still see them.
Yeah, but you don't see as many. You don't see as many.
You got to look at all the Brazilians and the people from.
Well, yeah, but you just said that. But that's
Dagestanis.
Yeah, but I'm saying that no, like where you like you said that they would invite them to the gym. You don't see that now. Now they're like, no, I'm planning it. I'm going to go up.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to talk shit.
And
I'm going to get on. Yeah, but before it was like, I just enjoy fighting.
Why do they get allowed to say who they fight? That's like the fucking Lakers saying, we're not playing the Clippers this year.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get a fucking chance to say, no, we're fucking holding out for the Warriors. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. Anyway, what do you have coming up, Shang?
Just the road, the special Shang is Shangri, live from New York. That's the name of it.
But what club? What the road?
Oh, the fuck, man! I'm doing the L.A. Comedy Club in Vegas. I'll be at the Improv in Irvine tomorrow, and then I'm doing the L.A. Comedy Club, and then Tommy T's in Rancho Cordova, and then Pleasanton, and then I'm at the Levity Live in Oxnard. I come back home, and then I do Levity Live.
Ian, what about you?
I'm doing January 25th through 28th in Arizona. I'm doing stand-up live in Phoenix.
Great room.
And then, it's a cool room. Yeah. And then I'm doing a couple like little small theater things, Cottonwood, Arizona, Flagstaff. And then I'm doing a rock venue called 191 Tool down in Tucson, 4 nights. And then, that's the most imminent thing. And then, the comedy special on Amazon.
And what do I search for on Amazon?
Just search Ian Harris Extraordinary on Amazon or iTunes.
And then you can also go to my IAN.
IAN, yes.
Yeah,
you can also go IanHarrisComedian.com and everything's on.
Yeah, go to the website. I am Shang, and I just put a new clip up, and it's right on the front page. So if you get a chance, and comedy wise, I want as many people. I know this sounds bad. I've been dissing a lot of internet comics, but come see it live, because live it's such a different ball game than just seeing a YouTube clip of some guy that's funny for like 2 minutes. You got to see somebody stretch out and do like 35, 40 minutes to see what we really do.
And Andrew, what do you got coming up?
Me, I just shot a show with Eve Edwards. We're going to put out this new fight show that comes out this week.
What's it called?
The Thug Jitsu Master and Squid Show. Kind of crazy.
That's like a cartoon.
Yeah,
it does sound like it's
all the branding of it is very cartoon.
It sounds like a total.
We got that, and then we're doing we have the show called Fight Party Live. It's kind of a fight companion we do on Pluto TV. We're doing that for the New Year's card or the New Year's Eve card.
Any more Glory events?
I will be commentating Glory February 16th in Chicago, and then I'm doing Smash Global in LA on February 28th.
Nice.
Yeah.
I will be at the LA Comedy Club at the Stratosphere, December 25th to the 31st. Hit me up to get on the guest list. Also, the first week of January, I'm in Pachanga Casino.
That's a good gig, too.
The second week, January 12th, 13th, I'm at the Comedy Palace in San Diego. Third week, I am in Seattle at the Comedy Underground. That's the 18th, 19th, 20th. And then I'm in Calgary, the last week of January in Calgary, in the Comedy Cave in Calgary. Thank you everyone for being on the show. Thank you, DeAnna Bennett.
Yes.
Don't send her dick pics, okay? And thank you, Pluto TV. Thank you, Andrew, for hooking us up. Take care and have a great week.
The fact that you're closing with and don't send her dick pics.
Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан. Даадаж дуулан дур булаа мууруулаа.